lately. That's what I'm dealing with. I lost all my feeling. Well, you going to feel it in your heart and your spirit if you can hear it. And if not, just lay on the speaker, feel a bass. Okay, bass. What bass? What bass? They be calling me ma'am up here. I ain't got no bass in my voice. That's a lie. I'm the last person to be talking about bass. When people call up every week talking about some, thank you, ma'am. Put some bass in your voice. Chuck D. Jordan Harris is the Democratic member of the Okay, let me stop. Today on our show, Jordan Harris, Democratic member of Pennsylvania House of Representatives, representing the 186th Legislative District. He joins Wake Up with Word to talk politics, meat mill, and probation reform. Pennsylvania State Senator Tim Kearney joins us also this morning on Wake Up with Word to talk about legislation that has been introduced that would eliminate the statute of limitations for sexual offenses and open a window of civil liability. The legislation was introduced as Senate Bill 540. You can look it up and do some research before the interview if you choose, right? Shout out to my AAR peeps. And shout out to my retirees. And I know that they're not one and the same because people are like, hey, don't call me no AAR peep. I'm waking up every morning. I said, no, I'm not saying you're not doing nothing. I'm just saying you made it. Never would have made it. I never could have made it without discounts. Ride the train today. I got my card, so don't y'all play. Oh, don't question me just because my hair's not gray. I got just for men. Okay. Oh, Philadelphia founder Joanne Myers-Brown, friend to the show, joins Wake Up with Word to talk about the Spring Philadelphia Performance Dance Philly Style. The show will run April 12th. That's coming right on up. April 12th through the 14th. Salute to Philadelphia, the great legacy. Like we said, pour it into the lives of others, contributing, being of service to the lives of others. Joanne Myers-Brown, a definite embodiment of such ideals. And we will talk about this upcoming show, Dance Philly Style. Y'all remember when he was doing Hustler? Now, not when Cassidy sung. I'm talking about like when it was like, we don't play. Hey, we don't play. Some of y'all was at Fever and Bobby dances, and now you got kids and act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Come on now, stop playing with me. But now it's time to say hello to all my Negro friends. I mean, it's time for some news that you can use.
News you can use right now on Wake Up with Word.
Good morning. It's time for some news you can use. Julian Assange took refuge in the embassy 7 years ago to avoid extradition to Sweden over sexual assault case that has since been dropped. The Met Police said he was arrested for failing to surrender to court. Ecuador President Lenin Moreno said it withdrew Mr. Assange's asylum after his repeated violations to international conventions. But WikiLeaks tweeted that Ecuador had acted illegally in terminating Mr. Assange's political asylum in violation with international law. House Secretary Sajid Javid tweeted, I can confirm Julian Assange is now in police custody and rightly facing justice in the UK. Mr. Assange, 47, had refused to leave the embassy, claiming if he did, he would be extradited to the United States for questioning over the activities of WikiLeaks. Scotland Yard said it was invited into the embassy by the ambassador following the Ecuadorian government's withdrawal of asylum. Mr. Assange will remain in custody at a central London police station before appearing at Westminster Magistrates Court as soon as possible, the statement added. UK Foreign Minister Sir Alan Duncan said the arrest followed extensive dialogue between our two countries. It comes a day after WikiLeaks said it had uncovered an extensive spying operation against its co-founder at the Ecuadorian embassy. There has been a long-running dispute between the Ecuadorian authorities and Mr. Assange about what he was and was not allowed to do in the embassy. BBC diplomat correspondent James Landell said that over the years, they have removed his access to the internet, and accused him of engaging in political activities, which is not allowed when claiming asylum. Interesting. Gotta know these kind of rules, right? He said, quote, precisely what has happened in the embassy is not clear. There has been claim and counterclaim. Mr. Assange will initially face UK legal proceedings, but could be extradited to the U.S. over the WikiLeaks revelations. He added, I just believe that once you tell a certain level of truth, like Malcolm, like Martin, you know that people have the power to twist, the system to your detriment. That's why you on the run. That's why you would go on the embassy to embassy. That's why you can't get online. It's not because they think you harass somebody. It's not because they don't like your political stance. You went and got high-level people upset. I try to say it the right way. You know, the term for that when you get people upset. But you know, when you get high-level people upset, there's just certain things you gotta accept, and that's why nobody speaks truth to power. There's a reason why nobody stands up, because they see that society's like a proverbial whack-a-mole game, and the people who stand up, you know, that little hammer with the little foam on it at the amusement park, they just whack it, you know, and the little, oof. Yeah, Julian Assange's day was coming when he first founded WikiLeaks. Eric Snowden's day was coming when he first exposed and did his leaks with the NSA. So if he lives long enough, somebody is going to have a grudge and work. Put it this way, they're working diligently now to make sure they take Edward Snowden down. We were watching Julian Assange do interviews and everything. There was whole nations, whole countries that were in communication consistently on how to get this dude. So when I get on this microphone every day and I be going at everybody, I know that they will work iniquity. They will work something that in their eyes is right, but is unseemly. But you just got to believe that you have a mouth that your enemy will not be able to gainsay nor resist, and that if they touch one of his anointing. In other news.
In some other news, and I guess let me start off by saying that, you know, going into this story, I don't want for people to think that, you know, I fully agree with abortion, but at the same time, I do fully believe in the fact that a woman should have autonomy over her own body. And what we are constantly seeing is that the female body is under attack. And when it comes to government, a bill considered by members of the Texas House of Representatives this week would have criminalized abortions and opened up the possibility for women and physicians to receive the death penalty. On Wednesday night, the legislation appeared to have no chance of progressing after the Republican chairman of the committee that heard testimony about the bill declared his opposition. The bill would have allowed women who obtained an abortion or doctors who performed one to be charged with assault or criminal homicide, the latter of which is punishable by death in Texas. It would have allowed no exceptions for abortions in cases of rape or when the health of the mother is at risk. Despite the bill's apparent failure, it was a stark example of the kind of proposed abortion bans that challenge federal judicial precedent that are under consideration in states' legislatures across the country. Amid speculation that Roe v. Wade would be overturned by a majority conservative United States Supreme Court, state-level politicians have passed legislation trying to either shore up access to abortion or restrict the procedure. There's a quote here from Elizabeth Nash. We're at a critical moment where abortion bans are flying through state legislatures. She's a state policy analyst for Guttmacher, a reproductive health organization, that supports abortion rights. Abortion opponents have emboldened to try all kinds of very extreme pieces of legislation, but this Texas bill appeared to even be too extreme for some abortion opponents, Ms. Nash said. So, you know, my issue here is the fact that, and I think that, and I started to have a conversation even with my mother last night, and we were kind of talking about some of this, and it's very hard for me, especially as a woman who is of reproductive age, for someone to tell me that I can't do, you know, what I want with my own body. And, you know, even if I wanted to get my tubes tied or something like that, they'll tell me, oh, you're not married. Oh, you know, you're too young. You know, you haven't had enough kids. But if a man wanted to go and get a vasectomy, he could set up an appointment and get one. And I think that it's very hard, because when you're talking about abortion, and we all know that, you know, with Planned Parenthood and the fact that it's so wrapped up in racism and eugenics, and the fact that they're trying to control the population of black and brown babies, you know, so we know this, and you're saying that, oh no, you know, a baby's health or body is worth so much, and yet you're telling me that my body isn't worth much. Like,
or your life,
or my life.
They talking about death penalty.
Exactly.
How you pro-life and pro-death penalty? Okay, let me stop.
So it's definitely a hard conversation, and I just it's very difficult for me to have because I have a lot of conflicting viewpoints about abortion. I don't know if me personally if I would ever be able to do something like that, but I also know that I don't want to be told that I can't if it means my health or it means that I might die, and also my baby might die too. So if we're both gonna die, well, So it's a very difficult process, and I know that there's so many nuanced conversations, and the fact that you have women out here who are trying not to have a baby, and there's a husband or a man who wants the kid and doesn't want you to abort. So there's so many nuanced conversations to this. There's layers to it. But
who introduced the bill? That's I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to get a name so we could, because I think. So speculation, no, I don't really.
I have to pull it up.
Yeah, we need that.
Not in here.
Oh no, we got to find this person. We need to find this Texas bill. We need to find whoever wrote this. We need somebody know. If y'all know, y'all call today. Be like, I've been studying that bill, and you tell me whose name is on that, who approved it, because you can't be pro-life and pro-death at the same time. You be like, if you don't save that baby, I'll kill you. Wait, what? What you talking about, Willis? Where they do that at? We're gonna take a quick break. And that's all you can do. After a story like that, we need to do some research and do a quick break and find out who wrote this. Who wrote this? And that's why the Julian Assange thing was so skeptical. I was skeptical because, like, oh, he harassed some women. Y'all be harassing women with your bills and your legislation. I haven't heard one bill yet that talked about. Is there? Maybe there is. Y'all let me know. Is there a bill that really discusses like better lighting in these in our city? Because I know like on campuses they'll have like emergency phones. And I don't think we have that throughout our city. Do we have that? I know you don't have it in Jersey. But I'm talking about like a blue phone, you have like special phones that you could call if something happens to you. And we don't even have pay phones anymore.
Tony Tinderbolt.
Oh, he sounds like.
That's why I didn't say his name. I read it in the story last night and I was like, Tinderbolt. He sound like somebody.
Oh, we're gonna look you.
Look, here's what he looks like.
We're gonna look you. Oh, I'm not gonna say what he looks like. I'm not going to say what he looks like.
He looks like someone who would put a bill like this.
Yeah, that's what he looks like. That's what I was saying. He definitely looks like, he looks. Woo! Okay, we're going to take a break. Oh, my gosh. I'm Aaron Smith, Queen Kuwait, so you're waking up with word, y'all. Tinderbolt.
The Source.
The Source.
Weekdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Special guest host Renation Platan every Monday in April.
The Source. Exclusively on Word Radio and WordRadio.com.
I'm Mama Dietz. At Dietz & Watson, we've spent over 75 years focusing on the details. This philosophy started back when my father learned how to make franks and sausages the right way in Germany. Today, we put that same level of detail into everything we make. If it isn't good enough for our family, it isn't good enough for yours. Dietz & Watson, caring like only family can since 1939.
The Kimmel Center offers free arts education programs to schools across the region. Teaching artists visit classrooms to educate, engage, and inspire the next generation using creative learning experiences, and schools take trips to the Kimmel Center for live performances. The Kimmel Center is committed to educating Philadelphia's youth by providing access to quality arts. For more information, visit kimmelcenter.org. Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM, WURD.
Councilman Alan Dom is building a brighter future for Philadelphia's children, fighting for more school funding, raising funds to support tech education, and personally donating to teach computer coding at Coded by Kids. Listen to Coded by Kids instructor Ashley and CEO Sylvester Mobley.
There are a lot of kids that will have a brighter future thanks to Alan Dom and his contributions to Coded by Kids.
Having Alan Dom make a commitment to transforming people's lives through technology has helped us. I can't thank Alan Dom enough.
Fundraising to teach computer coding, personally donating thousands. Alan Dom is fighting to give our children the opportunities they deserve and preparing them for success. Big ideas. Big achievements. A better city for all of us. Vote Alan Dom. Democrat for City Council at Large. Paid for by Alan Dom for City Council.
The National Association of University Women presents a youth conference, April 13th at Impact Your World in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Topics include cyberbullying, financial aid, and youth entrepreneurship. Visit 2019 NAUW-youthconference.eventbrite.com.
Now, a traffic update on Word Radio.
Delays on the Blue Route northbound, and this report is sponsored by La Quinta by Wyndham. The Blue Route northbound barely budging McDade to Route 1. The Schuylkill eastbound delays. The Boulevard to the Vine Expressway, westbound the Boulevard to Gladwin. 95 southbound barely moving. Bridge Street to Girard Avenue. Area bridges are busy, but they are moving. 55 northbound barely moving. Deptford to the 42 freeway. The 42 freeway, again, very busy, but it's moving as well. La Quinta by Wyndham, now part of Wyndham Rewards. Earn and redeem Wyndham Rewards points for free nights at La Quinta and thousands of other Wyndham Rewards properties worldwide. Book direct at LQ.com. For more traffic information, go to Sigler.com. I'm Ann Evans with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Let's go! You're waking up with Word.
Waking up with Word, child.
On Word Radio. Black Talk Media.
Black Talk Media, 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, WURDradio.com. Listen live anytime and log on. If you don't have the app, you know where to go. Download app like you know who, me? I'm the host of the show, Aaron Smith, the rapping professor, Queen Kuwaisa, super producer, and you are waking up a word, child. You are. Okay. It's just a beautiful day. It's a beautiful morning. On this, we got news. I'm like, what? I got all these papers. Let me just get back to business. The most sinister PTA mom they refer to as Education Secretary Betsy, what did Donald Trump call her? Ditzy DeVos. That was cruel. He shouldn't have said that. Donald Trump should not have called her Ditzy DeVos. He should not have called her Ditzy DeVos. Donald Trump was wrong for that. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is going to war with affirmative action. Well, that sounds ditzy. Okay, and at least one school has caved into the pressure. Wow. According to NBC News, race will no longer be considered in deciding admission at Texas Tech University Medical School, which is bowing to the Trump administration's push to end affirmative action under the devious of, they refer to it a different way. From NBC News, the resolution resolves a complaint filed in 2004 against Texas Tech University Health Science Center, but notably, the resolution is the first of its kind under the Trump administration, which last year rescinded Obama-era regulations meant to promote diversity among students. It is time for the great divestment. It is time. I feel like I'm overall a young man. I feel like I'm a young man. And I feel like I've read enough of these stories to not keep trying to be around anybody in any way that ain't trying to be respectful and accepting of my full humanity and give me equal access and at least consider the unique challenges and history of my people. Like, if you not, it's the time for the great divestment, y'all. Ida B. Wells did it best, and nobody has truly replicated her move. They killed Ida B. Wells' friends. First of all, they told these lies. She went door to door and found out a lot of these so-called rape allegations was white women swirling and then lying on black men, getting them killed. That's one thing you do. You speak truth to power. You get in these evil people's faces and you play them with truth. You knock the brains out of falsehood. But what else she did, when they said they were going to chase us down and not let us run our businesses like our friend who was lynched for being competitive, you know what Ida B. Wells did? Ida B. Wells was like, you let them keep what they got. In that red record, she was like, we will leave. And we will let their economy and their culture and their society fall. They will be a dry, barren wasteland in a bunch of back alley, Trump-supporting, no-teeth-having, talking about bringing the coal industry back by the time we finish leaving. Shouts out to Ida B. Wells with the red record. She was like, if they don't want us here, and nobody ever talks about that approach. If you don't like me and you don't want me around, guess what? NYU just declared that medical school is tuition free. It's like talking to a young man or a young lady in high school who's dealing with somebody who's mistreating them and doesn't want them around, and then they keep telling you, I don't know what's wrong with him, he won't pick up my calls. Girl, if you don't stop calling him, Like, how about that? Let's start there. No, you know, she just likes to date all my friends, but I think one day, man, if you don't get your life, how many times when somebody shows you who they are, okay, this is what you do. You get you a list, and you write Texas Tech, not medical school. You say Texas Tech, and you put a line through it. It's time for the great divestment. And then you publish, you create a publication like the Green Book, and you call it the White Book. These places only want white people. Let them have them. Let them have them. You ever go into a store and you don't know nothing on the menu and the food is all foreign to you, and you be like, ooh, I thought this is a different type of store. I thought it was a restaurant like the one in the corner. No, this is a different type of restaurant. Nothing's in English. Everything smells foreign to you. You're like, I'm not that adventurous. It's not designed for me. Nobody in here looks like me, right? The prices ain't next to the food, so you know it ain't my level of people. Like, it ain't for me. Don't push your way through and sit down and end up paying $100 for a plate, and you end up eating like the crust of some bread soaked in some gravy, and you like, oh, they be like $100. Like, don't do it. They don't want you there. Keep it pushing. What is up with us as a people? It's time for the great divestment. Anybody who don't want anything to do with me, Gucci, you want to make blackface sweaters? Make them. That's your flag to let me know I don't belong there. Like the barbershop had that little swirling cylinder with the multicolors. Anywhere in the world you go, you say, oh, that's a barbershop. They got the little pole with the different colors. Barbershop. You see a picture of a plate, right? You say, oh, you see a bulletproof glass, a Chinese food store. they got signals. Heed the signs, man. Texas Tech is like, you know what? We cool on y'all Negroes. And what we should do is say, we cool on you, Texas Tech. That's the natural way to treat people who are disagreeable and do not want to be around you or don't want to recognize your full humanity. We have to escape this negative second-class beggar plan, house Negro mentality where it's like, please, sir, just one more chance. Just let me prove to you through moral suasion that I could be good as some of you. No! I don't care. I don't want them either. I don't want any of my children going to Texas Tech Medical School where they think affirmative action is needless and senseless and don't even want to have a conversation with the very people. It ain't like they said we're going to meet with the Chamber of Commerce, Black Caucus, and NBC. They don't even want to talk about it. They talk to Betsy DeVos and they cool. Anybody that moves like that, anybody that says, oh, that's what you think, Betsy, we'll do that. That's a sucker, man. Don't move with them. Don't go support the institution. Don't give tens and not hundreds of thousands. They said people in medical school be in debt, you know, with the NYU story, $200,000. Why would you even consider giving $200,000 to an institution that doesn't even want to consider you? You should be like, thank you. That's like leaving $5 out and, you know, see if your friend is trustworthy. I'm glad I learned for $5. Could have cost me my life. I want to know now that you're not with me. They're giving you clear. Thank you, Betsy. Betsy is letting you know all the racist institutions. So now we don't got to worry. You don't got to send your children there, and then your child calls you crying because they having a whole blackface Halloween party, and they saying N-word, and they ain't reading Huck Finn in class and all. Like, they don't got to do that. Like, we need to shift the paradigm. It's the time for the great divestment. Any institution, any network, any politician that doesn't want to be around me, respect me, or help me, thank you for letting me know. It's the undercover ones that worry me. Not the ones that say things like, I'm going to give you the death penalty for abortions and I'm going to roll back affirmative action. Thank you. That's why I said, get his name. That's my first question. Who is this? Who is this fine gentleman? Who is this fine racist? In other news, great divestment.
So in some other news, and this is actually a little bit more of a positive story. So as the war of words on any number of hot-button issues, including immigration, the environment, and equal pay, continue among United States lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, 2 black congresswomen are ensuring black mothers and children don't get lost in the shuffle. On Tuesday morning, freshman Rep. Lauren Underwood joined Rep. Alma Adams, they're both Democrats, in announcing the launch of the Black Maternal Health Alliance, formed in partnership with the Black Mamas Matter Alliance to address the growing threat to black women in childbirth. And if you all remember, a little while back, we had the co-director of Black Mothers Matter Alliance, Elizabeth Dawes-Gay, on the show, just to talk about their organization and what they're doing. And it looks like they're doing big things. As previously reported by both The Globe and The Root, the rate of black maternal mortality in the United States has risen to epidemic levels as black women across socioeconomic lines are approximately 4 times 4 times as likely as their white counterparts to die in childbirth, and twice as likely to lose a child due to premature birth. The potential causes are numerous, including lack of access to health care and attention and prenatal resources to disenfranchise and disproportionately of color communities, a lack of attention given to health concerns expressed by black women, and even psychological stress and PTSD caused by racism. And remember, we just talked yesterday with Aniri Patani just about the fact that, you know, women of color don't even want to go to the doctor because they're afraid to tell them that they have postpartum depression or other issues after childbirth because they don't want the stigma, right? So, but what the numbers alone indicates is that not only are black women and children more at risk during childbirth, but coupled with grim mortality rates for other women of color, the United States currently has the highest mortality rate in developed world. This despite the fact that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has estimated that potentially 60% of these fatalities are preventable.
Wow.
The Hill reports these findings prompted Underwood to co-found the caucus, which has already been joined by more than 30 Democratic representatives. Adams tweeted that she was thrilled to introduce the Black Maternal Caucus, which will have as its mission the formation of culturally relevant policies that raise awareness about the risks to black mothers and prioritize practices that result in safer births for mothers and children. So shout out to both of these women, Rep. Lauren Underwood and Rep. Alma Adams, because this is just something that's so vitally important. And, you know, we gotta, I know that I sit here and I'm you know, always talking about, you know, black women, but this is a really big issue because if, you know, black mothers are out here dying, guess what? Brothers, you ain't gonna be born. Like, you gotta get it together.
Or have support.
Right.
And this is deep because this is speaking to what we were just talking about. A lot of politicians are spending their energy and effort going back and forth with Trump. These two sisters were like, you know what? Great divestment. These two sisters like, you know what? I'm going to do something specifically targeted to my community. We out here dying. We don't got time to worry about, you know, how deep Barr's redactions are, what Betsy did today. I mean, we can monitor them. You keep an eye on them. It's like having cameras outside your house or something. I mean, don't not be ever vigilant, but don't be overly invested at the same time. It's about balance. I mean, it's not an either or. I'm not getting, you know, twisted and saying don't pay any attention to them. You got to watch them. They're dangerous. But I'm saying at the same time, you can't dedicate your entire professional life just to trying to monitor what Trump said to get Trump out, because then it's like, well, why are you in? You know, we gotta know that as well. So when you start groups like this and alliances like this and try to move to save lives and bring awareness to issues that are relevant to our community, I say this is what we should be doing. If more of us just said, we're going to do us. We're not going to worry about what Texas Tech is doing and what Gucci's doing. We're going to watch them. We're going to shout them out so we can get them on the list. But after that, we're going to keep it pushing and keep it black. I'm Aaron Smith. She is Queen Kawesa, and we're going to go right to the phone lines after the break. So call up 215-634-8065. More calls, more news, more interviews, more views, and more of you. Waking up with work, y'all.
The Source.
The Source.
Weekdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Special guest host Renational Platan every Monday in April.
The Source. Exclusively on WURD Radio and WURDRadio.com.
What's cheesy, topped with a fluffy egg and crisp applewood smoked bacon? Easy. McDonald's new $2 breakfast deal. For a limited time, get a flaky bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit for just $2. And if you're craving something savory and sweet, get a delicious bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles for the same price. Hurry in and bite into this tasty deal any day of the week. Only at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal for a limited time only.
Be heard. Want another way to join the conversation?
Follow us on social media
using the hashtag onWURD.
Be heard.
Stay connected to WURD Radio.
Independent Black Media.
We filmed 15 Pennsylvania kids who were all waiting to be adopted and asked what having a family and permanent home would mean to them.
I want a family just to accept me for who I am, to be there just to support me whenever I'm needing it.
Be matched with a family would be amazing. I won't be in the system all the time.
Visit adoptpakids.org to watch the video, meet the kids, and learn how you can become a foster or adoptive parent.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
A place like Home 2, located 2276 Georges Lane, provides a clean and active environment for seniors, including referrals, daily cognitive therapy, podiatry, exercise, arts, and crafts. Call 215-878-1200 now. Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
A building fire in Abington Township as Easton Road shut down between Woodland Avenue and Moreland Road. And this report is sponsored by La Quinta by Wyndham. The Blue Route northbound barely moving McDade to Route 1 southbound Route 1 to meet us Swarthmore. The Boulevard southbound on a long line of cars, Fox Street to the Schuylkill. The Schuylkill eastbound barely moving east of the Boulevard to the Vine Expressway, westbound the Boulevard to Gladwin. 95 southbound delays approaching Bridge Street to Girard. Area bridges are busy, but they are moving. The 42 freeway northbound barely moving Blackwood Clementon Road to 295. 55 northbound, that's jammed as well, approaching Deptford to the 42 freeway. La Quinta by Wyndham, spacious rooms, free high-speed Wi-Fi, and a delicious bright side breakfast. Everything you need to more than succeed. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph. Book direct at lq.com. For more traffic information, go to sigalert.com. I'm Ann Evans with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Let's go! You're waking up with Word with the rapping professor, Dr. Aaron Smith, on Word Radio. Black Talk Media.
900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, WURDradio.com. Listen live anytime and log on. I'm the host of the show, Aaron Smith, the rapping professor. She is Queen Kawesa, the super producer. We live, right? We live. Word TV. Make sure you go on to Facebook at 4Word. You can check us out on Facebook live and see and hear what we're doing here for real. At this time, we're going to the phone lines, 215-634-8065. 215-634-8065. A toll-free 1-866-361-0900. First up, Mary from Mount Airy. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Word family.
Good morning.
You know, I don't have any sympathy for these people, Eric Snowden and
Julian Assange.
Because, you know, they were on our radar for quite some time. Even Donald Trump has been on the radar. It was just a thing that we have people in the Central Intelligence Agencies, agents that fail to do their job. Anytime you go to other countries, it's automatic that you are entered into our database. You know, and people need to realize that you're not supposed to be committing crimes. Eric Snowden took our intelligence information to China and Russia. Now they have access to our information. You know, and this puts our military at risk, put our entire nation at risk. Anytime you have a president that they're hiding information that probably compromise our national security based on his transaction with other countries, no, they need to continue to pursue this information, and they need to prosecute him. And William Barr. It tells me that William Barr, he's another one that thinks he's above the law. When he gets out there and testifies illegally in front of Congress, you know, even these senators and Congress people are on the radar. Anytime anybody that go to another country, you're automatically placed on there. We track you. The thing is, you're not supposed to be committing crimes, not in this country or outside the country. We have these corporations that have been doing crimes for decades, and no one is willing to prosecute these people. That's the problem. And that's why we enter into so many wars around the world, because of you have people looking at this information, and it goes to not only the Central Intelligence Agency, it goes to the FBI, it goes to Security Exchange Commission, and you got them sitting up there just passing by. But we know who they are, because once you look at that information, we know everybody who looked at it and failed to act.
I hear you.
Thank you, and you have a good day.
Thank you, Mary from Mount Airy. A good point. Tony from North Philly, thank you for waking up with Word.
All right. Good morning, Professor Aaron Smith.
Good morning.
And illustrious Queen Kawesa, my sister in the struggle. Thank you for taking my call. Look, Pop, like you said, these companies and these people that don't want to have anything, let's back out. If Gucci and them don't buy their product, it's time to take that $2.5 trillion that we spend a year and start tracking it from these companies. And as far as, like, Why we don't call Donald Trump and them on what they really are? That's the American Nazi Party. Don't Pence look like Hans Gruber from the Third Reich and Roger Stone and these people? Why if the Jews talk about anti-Semite and all this stuff, why are they laying in bed with the American Nazi parties? Let's start calling people on what's really going on here and take this money away and boycott. Thank you for taking my call. Peace.
Appreciate you, Brother Tony from North Philly. And you can all call in, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, or 1-866-361-0900, toll free. Oh, I had my paper up in the camera. Okay. We on Word TV. I got to make sure the paper's not in front of the cameras. Word family, join us this Friday. Woo, this Friday. It's going to be a party. This Friday, April 12th, the 4th annual pre-celebration of the life and legacy of athlete, veteran, and civil rights activist Jackie Robinson at Brown's ShopRite, 52nd and Jefferson Streets, beginning at 10 a.m. Bring the family. Join us for a live broadcast hosted by the one and only WRD's Chris Murray and guests including experts on Jackie Robinson, the Negro Leagues, and the Philadelphia Stars. Enjoy hot dogs provided by Dietz and Watson, rolls by Amoroso's, popcorn and snacks by hers, and refreshments from Canada Dry. There will be face painting and fun for the young ones. And come early to be amongst the first 42 people to start or renew your onWURD membership and receive a discounted rate. Now that sounds good right there, of $80, and you could qualify to win a $20 Visa gift card and other prizes. Be there this Friday, y'all, for the pre-Jackie Robinson Day celebration, presented in part by Brown's ShopRite, Omarosa's, Canada Dry, Dietz and Watson, Hers, Moravia, Dedicated Senior Medical Center, and Aetna this Friday. Let's all be down there if we can. 52nd Street. We will be doing 52nd Street, 52nd and Jefferson Streets. Let me get it right. And they're like, what part of 52nd, Professor? I'm riding up and down 52nd Street. I'm riding the 52nd Street in Chester. Oh, Lord, yeah. Make a U-turn. Okay, I gotta get across streets. 52nd and Jefferson. We will be there. The Word family Friday. It's gonna be amazing. Yes, that's a good topic too. The great divestment is a good topic. I want you all to let me know, and before you call. Some of y'all, I'm going to let them know. They found out the parameters. I want you to let me know how you are going to participate in the great divestment. I want to make it personal. I don't want you to say, people out here buying Gucci, people out here. What you be buying that you don't need to be buying? What you subscribing to that don't subscribe to you? What you eating that's bringing you to an early grave and not contributing in any way to the upliftment and liberation? I take some water to stop myself. I had to purify the... No, seriously. Let's have a real conversation, people. We had a real conversation yesterday about care for the elderly in our senior community. I want to have a real conversation today. I'm gonna see if I can get started. This is hard for me. I'm about to testify. I'm gonna do less Chipotle, and I'm gonna do more family-owned restaurants and places that have a greater propensity to hire us. I didn't mean to name names like that, but it is what it is. Nothing wrong with the company. I'm just saying, if there's like a Jamaican food store or, Haitian cuisine or African restaurant, I mean, if I want them to exist in the future, if I want 10, 20 years from now to have those options, to have Eritrean food or and have Haitian food. Like if I want to be able to, experience the beauty of diversity within the diaspora, then I gotta. That's what I said earlier. Maybe I do. Maybe I need to be more adventurous. When I said that, I said if I can't identify the food, I'm walking out. No, maybe I need to take some chances. Go somewhere new, try something different. Yeah. So maybe this year, if you of African descent and you never had the foods I just named, maybe that's what we need. Oh, I'm doing it, y'all. I'm doing it out here. Somebody call Monica Lewis and get this business plan popping. Kuwaisa, have you ever heard of this? Black Restaurant Week. That's a good one. Where's the word on business, people? I got $1 million idea every day. Black Restaurant Week. So black people who have never tried Haitian food, that's the week to do it. Black people who have never tried Ethiopian cuisine, they should do it. Like, they should do it. Because it should be a cultural exchange as well as an economic infusion. Like, we need to do that. And if it exists, then promote it. Somebody be like, I did it 20 years ago. Well, don't nobody know, man. Trust me, I told a lot of people, ain't nobody would tell. Well, whoever did it, you can have all the credit. Let's just get everybody else on board and popularize it. Because I know somebody might get upset and be like, I'm the first day. Okay, I had restaurant week back when there was carts and horses on Broad Street. Like, I don't know, man. Let's not make it about that. Because people always divert the attention of the good idea to something else, to something petty. The point I'm trying to make is, let's get a lot of black restaurants together. Let's get a lot of new regular customers to these restaurants. Let's collectively go support them so they can offer a certain discount. Let's promote it on WURD. All y'all buy commercial time. Let's make it work for everybody, seriously. Because I think the amount of money we spend on our food is a big one. Clothes is above, right? But food, like, we eat with a lot of people that wouldn't hire people that look like us. And if they do, it's not to management. Don't be like, no, every time I go get my food, they serving it, they mopping up. Let's check the structure of the company, okay? Like, let's do shareholders, managers. Like, you know what I'm talking about here. But when you go to the Jamaican restaurant or you go to the African restaurant, top to bottom, blacks, we got them. No, it's time for the great divestment. Gamal Aziz, West Oak Lane. Black Restaurant Week coming soon.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Oh, man, that's an excellent idea.
I'm trying my best, brother.
Week, man, that's awesome, man. You know, I'm sitting here listening to the show, man. You guys got funny, you got your serious. It's a well-balanced show. I love it. But what I want to call it, I have a serious conversation. You know?
All right.
Let's have well, all your conversations are real and serious. I love it. But the Center for Disease Control just announced processed salt and processed sugar, and check this out, food has surpassed cigarettes as one of the leading contributors to chronic diseases. That's like food, and we talk about, you know, the food, processed food.
Oh, yeah.
I've been listening to you, man. I was listening to Brother Mo. You know, veganism is becoming real
appealing.
Starting
to look good. Starting to look good.
It looks good, man. I was just neat. But I'm going to tell you another thing, too, on that. A lot of this stuff, this processed food, this sugar, and this meat, with all these chemicals are more addictive than drugs. They point out that the sugar is more addictive than heroin. And the people who manufacture this stuff, they know this. They put sugar in everything to keep people sick. But I just wanted to share that with the community, because if we want to be warriors, if we want to be healthy, we got to really mind what we eat.
No, I appreciate you. Brother Gamal Aziz, they said that vegan lifestyle, it's like at the end of the club night, you know, you try to talk to people, you know, he don't look that bad, you know. I do at least need a ride home. Let me even get my friends and see if I can at least get him to be an Uber for the evening. I mean, I give him a fake number. No, but see, things look differently. Well, okay. Now, I looked up the article, of course. And there's multiple articles talking about what Brother Gamal was discussing, especially with the sugar. Processed foods as well. But I'm reading one that's an international piece, the Globe and Mail. This is out of Canada. They're saying the same thing, right? It says, sugar is the new tobacco, and here's why. Wow. Sugar is the new tobacco. There's a new global campaign called Action on Sugar to reduce hidden sugars in food by pulling together international experts in obesity and labeling sugars as the new tobacco. This voluntary group of scientific, academic, and medical obesity experts believes that reducing the sneaky sugar hidden within foods can help battle lifestyle disease like diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. This theme of divestment going to get real personal before the end of the show, because, I mean, everybody going to be affected. Some of us need to just divest from the sugar. Especially the processed sugar. At least have some cane sugar, you know, at least. Not the stevia. Not the stevia that's been used for generations by women as a sterilization agent. It's been a contraceptive, you know, agent. People been mixing it, you know, crushing it down and making sure they couldn't reproduce. And it was conversations. I was going to get into it. I'll chill for a minute. I'm chill. You waking up with word, y'all.
Wake up with Word with Dr. Aaron Smith. We'll be right back. Philly, D.C., and everything in between. Reality Check with Charles Ellison. Breaking down the latest in local and national news. Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. Right here on Word Radio.
JD's Auto Body and Painting is Philly's premier paint and body shop. So stop by for your free estimate and get your 10% word discount today. They're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue. Give them a call at 215-848-5949 and visit them at JD'sAutoBodyAndPaintingInc.com.
PP Shows presents the Mother's Day Music Festival Weekend in Atlantic City. Friday, May 10th at Caesar Circus Maximus Theater, The Whispers. And the Force MD. Saturday, May 11th at Boardwalk Hall, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. And Pain Kim.
Hey girl, you can trust in me, girl.
I'll Be Sure. And Christopher Williams. The weekend wraps up Sunday, May 12th at the Tropicana with After 7. And Drew Hill. 3 shows in 3 nights. Log on to ppshows.com for information about discounted hotel rooms, 2 big after parties, and brunch. Tickets to all the concerts can be purchased at Ticketmaster.com. Mother's Day weekend. Atlantic City is the place to be with 3 big concerts. Be there.
This is Cody Anderson. Palace Travel provided me with one of the most memorable trips I've taken to Ghana, West Africa. Palace Travel specializes in tours to Africa, including Ghana, Senegal, and South Africa. Throughout the year, Palace Travel has scheduled trips to Africa, including the next Panafest celebration in Ghana, July 2019. The trip of a lifetime, the historic return of the African diaspora after 400 years in the Americas, August 5th to 14th. Africa's improvement on Coachella, the annual Afrochella Festival in Ghana, December 27th to January 3rd. Ring in the new year in Ghana. Call Palace Travel to reserve your place on one of their scheduled Africa trips with convenient payment plans. Call Palace Travel today at 215-471-8555 or visit their website at palacetravel.com.
Einstein Bariatrics wants to talk with you about how losing weight can impact every aspect of your life. They know weight loss surgery is no easy decision, but will be with you every step of the way. With nationally recognized expertise and a full team to support you from the moment you reach out, Einstein is committed to doing whatever it takes to help you succeed long after your surgery. They've already helped thousands start a new chapter in their lives and will do the same for you. This changes everything. Get started with a free information session at EinsteinWeightLoss.com.
Now, with more clarity, this is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Streaming live at wordradio.com. Word Radio News Update with Vincent Thompson.
Good morning. Here's the latest from the Word Radio Newsroom, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Some students in Philadelphia have the day off today due to the presence of bed bugs in their school. School officials at Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School at 7101 Paschal Avenue sent letters home to parents saying the school will need to be closed for 24 hours to get rid of bed bugs. The bed bugs were found in classrooms. The letter encourages parents to contact the Philadelphia Health Department if bed bugs are discovered inside their home. Parents with questions can contact the Health Department at 215-685-6740. That's 215-685-6740. The Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School is the only Philadelphia public and charter school closed today. Funeral services will be held next week for Audrey Johnson Thornton, founder of the American Women's Heritage Society and longtime leader of the Belmont Mansion House Underground Museum in Fairmount Park. She died on Monday at age 93. In 1986, Thornton took a chance on the Belmont Mansion, which was an abandoned house at the time. The roof was collapsing and the walls were covered in mold. Thornton started renovations on the building she leased from the city of Philadelphia, and she successfully kept the city from tearing the building down. Back in the late 1700s, Belmont Mansion served as one of the first stops on the Underground Railroad, the same railroad stop where runaway slaves would jump out of boxcars to find sanctuary on the property still exists today. Pew Charitable Trust and the William Penn Foundation have donated more than $1 million over the years for the restoration of historic Belmont Mansion. She has also invested hundreds of thousands of dollars of her own personal wealth into refurbishing the mansion with antiques. Audrey Johnson Thornton will lie in state at Belmont Mansion on Friday, April 19th, and her funeral will be held on Saturday, April 20th at the St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Germantown. Checking sports, the Phillies lost to the Washington Nationals by the score of 15-1 last night. The Nationals won 2 games in the 3-game series. Phil's starting pitcher Nick Pivetta was taken out of the game in the 4th inning after allowing 7 runs and 7 hits. The Phils are off today and start a 3-game series against the Miami Marlins on Friday. Former Notre Dame guard Jackie Young was taken number 1 in the WNBA draft by the Las Vegas Aces yesterday. 5 Notre Dame players were drafted, while champion Baylor, the champion of the NCAA basketball championship, had 2 players selected in the top 15 picks. The NHL playoffs started yesterday. The Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Islanders, St. Louis Blues, Dallas Stars, and the San Jose Sharks won Game 1 of their playoff series. Tonight, the Boston Bruins play the Toronto Maple Leafs, Carolina Hurricanes versus the Washington Capitals, and Colorado Avalanche against the Calgary Flames. Vincent Thompson, Word Radio News.
You're waking up with Word.
Waking up with Word, y'all.
With the rapping professor, Dr. Aaron Smith.
Get your weight up.
And then we'll have a conversation
On Word Radio.
Black Talk Media.
900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, WURDradio.com. Listen live anytime and log on. If you don't have that app, then you know where to go. Download an app like you know me. I am the host of the show, Aaron Smith, the rapping professor. Queen Kawesa, super producer. Put some respect on her name. And you are waking up with Word, y'all. I was wondering if we can go to the phone lines, and I want to let you know that this hour is brought to you by Power. Philadelphia's organized to witness, empower, and rebuild. For more information, visit powerinterfaith.org, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. To the phone lines, Maurice from Southwest.
Doctor, you ain't never been so much on point today about the black restaurants and whatnot.
Black Restaurant Week, coming soon, WRD.
I noticed that you didn't mention any Afro-American spots. That's what I'm talking about. Back in the day up here on 52nd Street, up here on the corridor, between Market and Locust, it used to be...
Well, I didn't name any spots. I didn't name the spots. I didn't give the spots names. Just types of spots. Types of spots.
What I'm saying is how they disappeared.
No, I hear you.
It used to be 2 main spots. If you wanted a dinner close to Grandma's, it was Scotty's and it was Big George's. And they were known. If you really wanted something to eat, and you wanted a real decent meal that was home cooked, you went to those 2 spots, and now they're gone. Matter of fact, their buildings are just standing there empty.
I was going to Ida's myself because that was across the street from the store over on Columbia Avenue, but I hear you.
And another thing, the thing you said about the doctors and the sugar, I said I don't have 15 operations since 2001. So anybody been under the knife, there ain't nobody better than me.
Wow.
And I'm telling you right now, I suggested to a doctor one time, every time you see somebody black, because you know we had the high blood pressure and everything, how come you doctors don't check everybody's sugar? Because a person can lie to you and say, oh, I'm not a diabetic, because they don't want to go through the hassle. But you should. It's not going to cost you much. You can check every patient that comes in there and run a quick sugar test, so you wonder why their eyes are blurry or why they're acting like they're drunk or they're sick all the time. Why don't you take sugar tests? And, you know, if you don't go to your main doctor, your specialist, they don't take sugar tests.
Mm.
So, and I said, he looked at me like I was crazy, like I said something outrageous.
No, I hear you. Appreciate it.
And I'm just telling you, man, you hit right on point today, and I'd like to thank you for it, and I'll see you Saturday.
No, appreciate it very much.
I mean, Friday. Sorry, Friday.
Oh, yeah, I won't be out there, but the Word family will be deep in the building. No, thank you. Also, Nadira from South Philly, thank you for waking up with Word.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, this is India from South Philly.
Oh, Indira.
India,
I'm sorry.
Yes. And
put some respect on her name.
With my 4-year-old, we call. We try to get through sometimes, but sometimes I just can't wait on hold. But here's Saudi and say what you say every morning when we listen to them.
Thank you for looking up a Mario.
Oh, my God, the Bowser babe. That is amazing and beautiful.
4 years old. We're calling from my daycare center in South Philly, Saudi Academy. I just want to say one thing, Professor. Could you try to get Abdul Fareed, Councilman at Large, on if possible?
Say the name again.
I would love to hear you guys. I would love to hear, what he's running for, why, because I follow him on Facebook, but I just would like to hear a little bit about him on your show if you could try to get him on.
No, that's definitely a possibility. If you could, one more time, have the young princess say the line, maybe we could work it into a commercial or something. So I'm going to be quiet. See if you can get her to say it again, and we'll just record it.
Thanks for looking up a radio.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You as well.
All right, bye-bye.
If you ain't smiling right now, something ain't working inside of you. If that didn't make you smile, then you need one of them attitude practices I was talking about earlier. You need an adjustment. No, so let me break it down. I could break it down like whatever you want. So, John Holdren, who was, working for the Obama administration, caught some flack a little while back because he was involved in a publication with the Ehrlichs, who are famous for the population bomb book and, books about population explosion. So Ann Ehrlich and Ann Ehrlich and Paul Ehrlich are the couple that wrote the book. Some of y'all remember The Population Bomb and other books related to population. And John P. Holdren, who worked for Obama, had his name on one of these books at one point called Ecoscience, Population, Resources, Environment, right? And people are like, yo, why you got your name on this book with these, suspected eugenicists and these crazy theories? And the book is like $400. So people couldn't get the book. But there was another book that was very similar called Population, Resource, Environment, with a different tagline underneath that just talked about the human ecology. This book doesn't have Holdren's name on it. It just has the Ehrlich's name on it. And it was from 1970. This book, the second book I'm naming, is almost word for word very similar, and it only costs you like $4. So you can get online. I'll give you the titles all the time. Population, Resources, Environment. There's two versions. One's going to cost you $400. That's the one with John P. But the book talks about suspecting how we can stem the population. The book, not me. The book says maybe we can add a sterilant to the drinking water. The book even talks about a biological agent like creating a disease. They said, oh, that would be wrong to do. But one part I wanted you to hear is about chemical methods, and I'm reading from the book here. It says, a variety of chemicals are in the process of being tested on laboratory animals in hopes of finding some that will not have the drawbacks of steroid compounds. But since many seem to act by influencing some part of the natural hormone system, it is not too surprising that similar side effects have occurred in association with some of them. Nevertheless, right? It says we have only begun to be investigated. Deserve careful examination. At least one folk method of contraception is being looked at. 1970, y'all. At least one folk method of contraception is being looked at. A South American weed, Stevia rubidinea. Stevia, S-T-E-V-I-A, the stuff that's in everything now. One contraception method has traditionally been used by Indian women in Paraguay as a contraceptive. Each day, women drink a cup of... Why they got stevia in everything, y'all? Why y'all sitting up there talking about, I got coffee, I don't want to do the sugar, I do the stevia? Back in 1970, they was talking about, man, for generations. These women have been using this to prevent them from becoming pregnant. S-T-E-V-I-A. R-E-B-A-U-D-I-A-N-A. The very same stevia that you pouring and drinking and dropping and sipping. A contraception by Indian women in Paraguay. Man. So in 1970, they said maybe we could add stevia to stuff, but in 2019, stevia's in everything. History is best served to reward our research, because when you do the research, you're like, oh, I know one thing I'm never going to have in my drink. Stevia. Because people have been using it for hundreds of years to not have children, to sterilize them. But it's in everything now. But they were considering back then in the book, maybe we can give the population this. Because they're not talking in Margaret Sanger terms in this book. They're not talking about, oh, let's try to give the black people the feeble-minded. In this book, they're talking about how do we stop if y'all, somebody got to get on the line that knows about the Ehrlichs and the population bomb. Some of y'all was around in the 70s and the 60s and remember this talk when it was a big talk about they thought the population was about to end. I'll give you chapter and verse. Dr. Paul R. Ehrlich, The Population Bomb. I got a revised and expanded edition I'm looking at. It says, while you are reading these words, 4 people, most of them children, will die of starvation, and 24 more babies will have been born. They were talking fear-mongering by the co-author of How to Be a Survivor. This is what they were talking, y'all. Even in The Economist magazine, they had an article that said how to deal with the shrinking population, and they put the Chinese baby on it. So there always is this duality where some populations, you know, were the cause of concern, and other populations, you know, were meant to be preserved. But you could get the book. You don't gotta have nothing to say to me. You get this book, because one of them I said it says 1 cent. You pay shipping and handling. You pay $5. Population, Resources, Environment, talks about human ecology. It's by Ann Ehrlich and Paul Ehrlich. That's all you got to do. E-H-R-L-I-C-H. It's the Ehrlichs, and if you look at their picture on Google, you're gonna see that they look exactly how their books sound. The Population Bomb. If you're familiar with it, please give me a call, because man, some people have been afraid of the population well before Dr. Francis Cress Welsing even talked about genetic annihilation. Some people was always afraid of people reproducing. Rita from South Philadelphia, thank you for waking up with Word.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Okay. You don't have to worry about that. And if you want the people to buy the book, they can. But there's one thing you have to remember. They already have that virus that will kill you. That's the one that this man had. It'll kill you. There's no cure for it. It's already here. And do you think you want to live in a high-tech society and all these people are going to be walking around? They don't need you. They don't need them. You got the robot that can do different things. They're working on the robot as we speak to get the robot to walk up the steps. After that, it's over, honey. They don't need you. Now, here's why I called. They're getting ready to tear down some historical jewelry stores in Center City on Jewelers Row. They don't need them. Here's why. You can go to the internet and buy your high-priced jewelry or call on the phone overseas or wherever you want to get it from. They don't need them. See, this is what happens when people don't need you. Another reason why they're doing this. When they come for your house, black people, you ain't going to have nothing to use to say you should. They'll say, oh, we took the white people's jewelers. Well, we took theirs. You've been neutralized, honey. Also, Philadelphia is on the list to be the richest city in the whole nation. Now, how do you think you're going to stay here? It's not going to happen.
I hear you. I appreciate your call today, Sister Rita, and also Brother Joe from Germantown. Thank you for waking up with Word.
Yeah, hey, Brother Professor and Queen Quincy, how y'all doing?
Good morning. Doing well.
Our praises be. Yeah, Brother Professor, first, before I talk about your subject matter, you know, I wanted to say how touched I was. I'm sure you was, and Queen Quincy, when I called the other day about the corruption up in Montgomery County with those racist bigots on the judicial bench. And remember the sister calling about her son? Her son got caught up in that, and how her son was treated, Professor. I think it was on Tuesday. Yeah, but that call really touched me and stuff, and I know that, and I could feel the pain in the sister's voice. And like I said, Professor, it's a shame that we don't have a Justice Department in place that can go up there and investigate and deal with that corruption, that racist bias and bigotry that treats black people, whether it be Bill Cosby or her son, they get treated like that by the Kevin Stills and the Judge Risa Furmans of the world up there in Montgomery County. Because, like I said, they pretty much do what they want to do because there's no oversight. They treat black people and people of color like dirt up there, and it's a shame nobody there to check them and stuff. You know, it's really sad. But Professor, let me say this. You know, Brother Mokard, I think it was on Monday, he was talking about the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we know, Brother Professor, we as rational human beings, we know we got good people of all races. We know we got good white people, good black, good Latinos. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he didn't say this to put nobody down. He did it as a teachable moment. He said the white man's nature. See, I got to talk about somebody's nature. See, only a devilish people would even come up with stuff like that, population control, poisoning people's crops, going to try to, you know, keep people, look at our people, our young black men and women and adults in Flint, Michigan, drinking dirty, toxic water and stuff like that. See, only a devilish person for devil. It's not about hatred. It's just being honest and being truthful, Brother Professor. Only somebody with a devilish nature and stuff would even come up with something like that. Warmongering, that you would take money that could be used to build up the infrastructure of cities, but you want to build weapons of mass destruction to drop bombs and kill people. Don't forget, Professor, man. They talking about Iran and North Korea being feared them and stuff.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Exactly. In Japan to this day, Professor, still being felt the after effects of what happened. You got the future generations today, brother Professor, still being born with defects and stuff like that. So I ask you, brother Professor, who is the real devil and stuff? Who got the devil nature? I mean, in our points through these Europeans, brother, they got an evil disposition nature about them, and it is no hatred. It's just to tell them the truth, man. Anytime you were to cut a woman off of her welfare, take away her food stamps or whatever, and she don't have nothing to feed her children, only somebody with a devil nature would do something like that. So we know we have to sugarcoat it and be mealy mouth. Call a spade, brother. It is what it is.
Appreciate you, brother Joe from Germantown. Definitely don't sugarcoat it, because we talked about what that sugar doing to people right now. They calling sugar the new tobacco. So when we talk about divestment from that spoon, divestment real soon. Also, Sister Rita, if you haven't heard, she had a very powerful point about, some of these places with the jewelry, because there's a story out of 6 ABC that we'll play for you. Jewelers in the nation's oldest diamond district get eviction notices. If you don't go support people, you can totally transition into the landscape of the commercial. I'll let you hear it now. 6 ABC, Jewelers Row getting eviction notices, one of the oldest in the nation. Listen up.
To vacate received by at least 5 tenants of Jewelers Row. Their departure will clear the way for a high-rise Toll Brothers condo. The historic change will take place in the heart of the district, the 700 block of Sansom, and that's where Action News reporter Christy Aletto is live tonight. Christy.
That's right, Jim. They have to be out by the end of May, and if you look closely, you can already see demolition notices are in some of these windows. It's 5 buildings right now, and you would think that this area would be a historical landmark. Nationally it is, but it's not registered as such with the city, meaning that these 5 buildings were fair game.
All my work, all my everything that is my life, and all of a sudden 60 days to vacate.
With an eviction notice in hand, jeweler Jane Thies and several tenants in 5 buildings along the iconic Jewelers Row are being forced out to make way for a condo by Toll Brothers. Once the nation's oldest diamond district could soon be no more.
And they're throwing it away, and it breaks my heart.
On the other end of the block, some jewelers are worried they're next.
We were sent letters that, they were going to list the building. A lot of family businesses around here. Now all of a sudden, you get nervous that you're going to be uprooted. What are you going to do? This is our livelihood.
An ongoing fight for almost 3 years. Many businesses tried to preserve the block while some supported the developer. And while Jewelers Row is on a national registry, it's not a designated historical landmark with the city.
It was not on any registry list. They're trying to get the whole area on a registry list now. But we used everything we could. We talked to the owners. And they decided to tear it down.
It's just like every step of the way. Nobody seems to care. And when it's gone, it's gone.
But for residents,
when it's gone, it's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. Sound like black folks. They weren't black, but it sound like black folks, right? And nobody seems to care, right? We know how you feel, right? But when they start pushing, the wealthy Jewish community downtown who's been in business and in certain positions in power for generations in that area, when they pushing them out, we as a community need to have some serious conversations. This is deeper than just interrupting city council meetings. That might be a good start. I'm not saying it's either or, but we got to take it even further than that. Because after we finish talking about councilmatic privilege, we got to recognize and realize that they could push them out. Chances are, even if we end up winning this war, there's going to be some pushing. And we need to know how to respond to the push, how to adapt and adjust and bounce back after the push, where we would prefer to be pushed. It's almost like in martial arts, they teach you how to fall. In martial arts, they teach you how to fall so you don't hurt yourself, because you might have some situations where you take people down, you get knocked down, right? So when you get knocked down, don't bust your head on the pavement. When you get knocked down, they teach you how to roll sometimes and go with it. If somebody knocks you down, sometimes in your to your advantage to roll with the momentum. If someone's pushing you out of a community, instead of you acting against, sometimes you fight, sometimes you have the most difficult tactic in military engagement, I've been told, is a disciplined retreat. Sometimes you guys say the bulldozer's already here. Everybody got eviction notice. They got everybody's stuff at the house. They boarded up all the windows. And let's not march today. Maybe let's all try to figure out how we can move as a community somewhere else together to keep this sense of community, to have some degree of political, let's figure out how we can run a candidate in a different district, like being just standing out here as they knock buildings down and being out here crying. Like, we got to do it strategically, because if they pushing them out, then we got to recognize the power of this push. On the other side of the break, we got a quick conversation with a couple callers, and then we're going to Jordan Harris, Democratic member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, representing the 186th Legislative District, and we got you. Waking up with word, y'all.
Now, a Word Radio weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Brittany Ship.
It's a chilly start on the spring day. Temperatures feeling like they're in the high 30s, but by the afternoon, low 60s, a mix of sun and clouds. By tomorrow, much warmer, low 70s, but a chance of showers starts for us Friday and continues into the weekend and even into next week. Make sure you download our NBC 10 app so you can take your weather forecast with you on the go. Have a great day.
We filmed Pennsylvania adoptive families and asked them why more people need to become foster or adoptive parents.
As a society, we have a responsibility to make sure every kid gets from being a kid to being a responsible adult.
I would encourage anybody to do it. You get so much more out of it than you expect.
Visit adoptpakids.org to watch the video, meet the kids, and learn how you can become a foster or adoptive parent.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Listen live at wordradio.com.
Since 1904, Philly's top sandwich pros and homemakers have always started the exact same way, with those legendary Amoroso's rolls baked fresh daily. Word family, put Amoroso's rolls on your shopping list for your kids' school lunches and your next family gathering. Want to make your very best sandwiches? Always start with the very best sandwich rolls. Pick them up today at your favorite supermarket or food store. Amoroso's, why Philly's sandwiches are world famous.
Now, a traffic update
on Word Radio.
Delays on the Blue Route. This report is sponsored by La Quinta by Wyndham. The Blue Route northbound barely moving McDade to Route 1, southbound the Toll Plaza to the Schuylkill-Conshohocken exit. Southbound again delays, Route 1 to past Media Swarthmore. The Vine Expressway westbound barely moving 95 to Broad Street. The Schuylkill eastbound jamming up east of the Boulevard to the Vine Expressway westbound the Boulevard to Gladwin. 95 southbound barely budging Cotman Avenue to Girard. The Boulevard southbound barely moving Fox Street to the Schuylkill. The Ben Franklin Bridge westbound heading to Philadelphia jam the midspan of the bridge to 8th and Vine. The 42 freeway northbound barely moving Black Horse Pike to 295. 55 northbound delays Deptford to the 42 freeway. La Quinta by Wyndham, spacious rooms, free high-speed Wi-Fi, and a delicious bright side breakfast. Everything you need to more than succeed. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph. Book direct at lq.com. For more traffic information, go to sigler.com. I'm Ann Evans with your Philadelphia area traffic.
You're waking up with Word.
Waking up with Word, y'all.
On Word Radio.
Black Talk Media.
Black Talk Media, 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, WURDradio.com. Listen live anytime and log on. We love y'all out there listening, enjoying the show, enjoying the day, enjoying your many blessings, focusing on them more than any problems or challenges or haters you got in your way. Make it make it a beautiful, wonderful day. I said, make it a butter. A wonderful, wonderful day. Make it a wonderful, wonderful day. Make it a wonderful, wonderful day. That could be a song right there. The most beautifulest thing in this world. Okay, Ron from North Philly, thank you for waking up with Word.
Yes, good morning, Professor. Quickly, I want to talk about nursing home. And we certainly have made a difference. And when I look at that, it's not to be negative with anyone else's opinion, what they said in reference to their family member, and not to seem insensitive. But there are certain needs in those nursing homes that maybe a family member cannot give them at home. And the nursing home, in some cases, have certainly provided that service. For example, it's a nursing home that everybody knows. Dr. Brown was there. And because of staying consistent up there, have made a difference in that nursing home. And I'm not saying it boasting, but that's a fact. Matter of fact, they have, because of the presence, the omnipresence of the Almighty God and a human being, they have made that nursing home, took it to a place of dignity for people that do not have people to take care of them. So what I'm saying, the homes and things like that, Mr. Murray Mason, perfect example, because we can make a difference. And it's not that one is insensitive to their loved ones, but sometimes the service that they present to them because of the resident do not have family. And it's numerous reasons. So Ryan is saying this. If you have someone that's here because of the situation that you're not able to take, you got to go there all the time. You got to be consistent. And I bear witness, and the people on the radio know this. That one nursing home up on Johnson Street, we have changed the whole thing up in there. The way they treat the residents, I'm not saying they treat them bad, Professor. As a matter of fact, I extended the invitation to Sydney Bass to go up there. That's on the borderline between Terrell Parker and Sydney Bass, and she went up there. And I said the reason I want you to come up here is to say thank you to the healthcare providers. And they was very appreciative of that, and this is what it takes. So everybody in every family, there's a certain personal needs that you can't do, but that nursing home provides. I'm not promoting that, but you can make a difference up there. I bear witness because of WRD, we have made a difference up at that nursing home. They don't know when this particular person is coming because he is very energetic and will get up and speak. We have made the business people that runs it, because it is a business that is state funded. We have made a difference up there. So thank you, and Almighty God, stop by there since you're everywhere and bless you on them people wherever they at in the medical places. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Brother Ron. And one of the things I was thinking about when we talked about the development, you listened to the story about Jewelers Row. They said a lot of the people have received eviction notices, and I was saying if they could push those people out, something we need to really take into consideration as we continue to strategize for our liberation and community control, just to know what we're up against. If nothing more than just knowing your enemy, I think it's an important thing to realize and recognize that they have no picks out here. They are pushing people out. 215-634-8065 or 1-866-361-0900. I was looking at a story about these ghost cities. Because I always say, they keep talking about they're going to build high-rises, down by where Jewelers Row is now. They want to build high-rises. On the waterfront, they used to have a bunch of nightclubs and things like that. Shouts out to Evolution's Chrome Nightclub, Adrenaline, right? Babylon. They used to have, some of those are the same clubs, just changed the name when something went wrong. But yeah, they said we're getting rid of all the nightclubs, except for a few, and we're going to put high-rises down there. And I need to know the ratio of occupancy, because all of these high-rises, they building high-rises all up and down Broad Street in North Philly. And some people say, well, Professor, they doing that because, they're going to get the rich people in here, and, the rich people going to come in, and it's all going to be fine. And I asked those people, have you ever heard of ghost cities? Ghost cities. China's eerie ghost city, a symptom of a country's... I'm going to teach a little bit for a few minutes. Just if you allow me a few moments, I won't be before you long. But if you've never heard of ghost cities, it says, one article says, I'm looking at abc.net. China's eerie ghost cities, a symptom of the country's economic troubles and housing bubble. Fancy villas, high-rise apartments, blocks, lakes, parks, sprawling road networks, ghost cities with no people in them in China have it all. Just one critical element is missing: the people. There are so as you think about homelessness, as you think about people who have nowhere to live, and I'm talking about you just riding through Kensington, I want to let you know that on this planet at this time, we talked about the housing, the population bomb earlier, how people trying to scare people. There's too many people, not enough places to go. There are entire cities in places like China and some in Africa from Chinese developers. Shops, roads, hospitals, schools, entire cities, because people just want to build. But there's a tipping point. There's a point of critical mass. There's a point of overextension. All great empires failed and fell due to overexpansion. So there's a difference between development. On the line at this time, Brother Jordan Harris, also a member of the Great Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Good morning, Democratic member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, representing the 186th Legislative District, here to talk about politics, Meek Mill, and probation reform. Jordan Harris, welcome to the program. Welcome to the program, Representative.
What's up, Fred? Good morning, good brother. How are you?
Doing very well. Always good to hear about you doing some grassroots stuff, even though you got that position. I see that you utilize your platform and your political prominence to make sure that you change the situation with probation and parole. And it's always good when I can talk about Meek Mill and not getting in any trouble. So I appreciate you being on the air this morning. Now, where do you want to start? You want to start politics? I think that's where the people would like to start first. What's going on? You know, I know you're not endorsing anybody, but what's going on in the politics locally?
Oh, man, locally, I mean, we have tons of races from mayor to city commissioner, city council at large. So, I mean, I'm sure people are hearing campaign commercials or getting literature sent to their mailbox. The best thing for me is that I'm not on the ballot. So, you know, for me,
it's a good feeling.
It's always a great feeling. It's a spectator sport right now, so I'm just, you know, I'm watching, and I tell people all the time, though, politics is local. So being involved in your local government and making sure you are aware of who's running and what they're doing is extremely important.
And in terms of local politics, you have, you know, continued, I'd like to make sure that I iterate effectively, you've continued to be present with the crusade that Meek Mill, Robert Kraft, and others have been, you know, launching in terms of trying to align themselves, you know, together in a way that can bring about some tangible change, some policy change, and reform in the prison system. A lot of people were there, you know, just to pose for the photo op, and I don't see them around Meek anymore, so I'm always encouraged when I see politicians who are still, you know, walking the walk. So what's going on with yourself, Representative, and the Dream Chaser?
So I mean, the truth of the matter is I've been working on criminal justice reform since I was elected in 2012 General Assembly. One of the first pieces of legislation that I introduced was around record expungement. And I've been on this issue for my entire career in the General Assembly. And we've had a lot of good success with getting bills to the governor's desk and getting the governor to sign it. A few years ago, you know, I went to court with Meek and others when he was up for a probation violation. I spoke, and then after that, when he was arrested again and put back in prison, I spoke at a rally, not necessarily because of Meek as much as because of the system. What had happened to him was emblematic of a flawed system, and it just worked well with what we were trying to do with regards to criminal justice reform in Pennsylvania. So last Tuesday, I stood with my Republican colleague from Cumberland County, Representative Cheryl Delosier, who I call my partner in reform. This is the third piece of legislation that we're going to work on together in the criminal justice sphere, with Representative Ed Gainey from Allegheny County and two other members, Representative Mike Jones and Greg
Mike
Ross.
Jones. Oh, I'm sorry. That just happens. Sometimes when I hear that name.
It's funny because he gets up there, he says, "I know I'm not the Mike Jones expected."
As long as he knows. Mike Jones. Okay.
But listen, we were there with Meek and Mike Rubin and Van Jones and a lot of advocates on both sides of the ideological spectrum to talk about our work collectively on probation and parole reform. Many people who have been on probation and parole know that it can be a perpetual cycle for those on it. In Pennsylvania, I believe the number is over 100,000 people on some type of probation or parole. Philadelphia, I think the number is up to about 40,000. And, you know, things like technical violations can send people back to jail. Something as simple as a speeding ticket or any type of interaction with the police can send, not a new crime, any type of interaction with the police can send you back to prison. So we're trying to reform the system. We're looking at how do we reform the technical violation piece? How do we reward people with good time credit to take time off of their probation? How do we look at, now that we have new marijuana laws in Pennsylvania, how do we test marijuana with regards to people being on probation and parole? So, you know, there's a new coalition, and we're glad to have the reform folks now working with us. But We have the DA's Association, Americans for Prosperity, the Commonwealth Foundation, the ACLU, Families Against Mandatory Minimums, Koch Industries, as well as the Pennsylvania Chamber of Business and Industry. Now, these are folks both on the conservative spectrum and on the liberal side working together because we all believe we need to reform our criminal justice system.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got some money from the Koch brothers? I said, man, that's bipartisan. That's bipartisan.
Wait. Let's wait, because you know somebody gonna take that clip and try to.
I'm just commending you. I'm commending people like you for being able to, reach across the aisles for, the common causes that people feel as though certain times have come in our society. But, I think it's commendable, to be able to have differences on certain political issues, but come together on greater issues that affect and impact society beyond partisanship. Did I clean it up nice? Did I clean it up nice?
The truth of the matter is this. I mean, some of these groups I vehemently disagree with on a lot of issues.
I hear you.
But on this issue, we agree. And there are too many black and brown people who are caught in this system. I've said that, in my opinion, probation is the quicksand of the criminal justice system. Once you get in, it's hard to get out. And the more you try to get out, the harder they pull you back in. So I don't care who it is that agrees with me on this issue. If we agree and you can help me get to the governor's desk so we can help black and brown folks, well, then we're going to work together. I'm going to fight you on all of the other stuff.
I hear you.
But on this, we're going to get it done.
Well, Malcolm did say by any means necessary. I always remind people of that because people like to quote people like Malcolm X, but then when they see somebody, really, implementing, like you said, any means, necessary and available to help people, they question it. So no, I just figured that, I'd speak for the people who was like, wait a minute, did he just say? And I'm glad you cleared it up and for the record, let the people know exactly, But one thing I was thinking when you were talking about that police contact, that, the risk of police contact, being a violation. People never used to insert that into the larger conversation of why people would run from the police. I used to always hear that growing up. They say, why would somebody just take off running if they weren't guilty? Why would somebody run from the police if they pulled up? Now, a lot of people are just now starting to learn, the ways that the system is designed, that if just having contact could bring you back to jail, then if the police pull up and say, I want to talk to you, pew, somebody might just run off. And I'm hoping it makes sense to people who don't, have those experiences of why these things occur. Because people often used to ask that question, why would you run if you didn't do anything wrong? And that's one of the reasons why.
But the tough thing about it, and this is what folks have to understand, and I mean, I know you know this, but as a black male in America, the wrong place at the wrong time can be any place.
Yeah.
So if I'm on probation, I can't even hang on the corner with my homies. I can't even chill with my friends because, that could be the wrong place at the wrong time, and that contact with law enforcement could end me up back in jail or prison to finish a remainder of time for honestly not a new crime. And I want people to understand this. We're not saying that if a person's on probation and they do a new crime that they shouldn't go to jail. No, that's not what we're saying at all. If you're on probation and you do something else, well, then that's different. We're talking about just think of the term technical, not a violation, a technical violation. So when you just get to the etymology of the word technical, it's just wrong that we are going to reincarcerate somebody. And think about it this way: this is a person who already has a record, who if they're out and they got a job and they got a stable home and they're taking care of it's already hard enough to get those things done with a criminal record. So now you want to send them back, and then on top of that, what is the cost to the taxpayer? We always talk about roads, and bridges, and schools, and all of that. Well, how much are we paying to incarcerate people just because they were smoking weed and they're on probation? Do you really want to send somebody back to jail at the tune of $42,000 a year for doing that? Those are and when we talk to people, the answer is a resounding no. I mean, check this out. The District Attorneys Association already came out and said that they believe, and these are the DAs, they believe that there are too many people on probation. So if the DAs say it's too many people on probation, clearly we have an issue that we need to address.
No, enough said with that, and but also appreciate your commentary with this issue of the dispensaries. That's one thing that really, sincerely, even personally, has been grinding my gears ever since they've been decriminalized and legalized, which is a great thing. But the hypocrisy of how it was treated, you know, when there was black and brown faces on the other side of this industry, this ever-growing industry. What does this restorative justice component about these people who have been locked up, non-violent drug offenses? I know there's some of the work that you're already doing currently, but how does this look, you know, in the future if things go right legislatively? I mean, do the people who have been locked up for non-violent drug offenses for doing the same thing people are getting rich for now in these dispensaries, are they freed? How does it look as far as expungement and pardons? Like, people have literally had their lives destroyed, and at the time there were different laws, and we ought to respect and understand that, but how does it look moving forward? Because there are people who sold weed and they're doing time, and other people selling the same weed and they're doing fine.
So there's several things to that. One, under the Clean Slate Act, which is the bill that I worked on last term that was signed into law by the governor, certain types of possessions can be sealed off of a person's record. That's the first thing. The second thing is House Bill 50, which is my colleague, Representative Jake Wheatley from Allegheny County's bill to fully legalize adult use cannabis. That bill actually includes language around what I call restorative practice with regards to marijuana to clean up people's criminal records. Now, that's just a bill. It's not law yet, so that is a part of that bill. In addition to that, after we get this probation and parole reform piece, you know, I'm already working on some things around felony expungement and the process for not what we're calling non-dangerous felonies. So we're working.
What does classify? I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but sure. You know, as far as the moves that you're making politically, what does classify as a non-dangerous felony? Just to get a little more specific.
Sure. So I mean, now, the list is not complete, but
okay.
Forgery, some theft, most of the drug charges. I mean, if you El Chapo, I mean,
you gotta sit for a minute, and it's gonna stay on your record.
I mean, yeah, that's a little different, but you know, most drug charges, like I said, theft, forgery, you know, bad checks, all of those kind of things. I mean, we're not talking murder, we're not talking rape, we're not talking, you know, major assault.
Oh, definitely. They're telling me I got to take a break. I got to wrap up. I just enjoy talking about this kind of thing because, like you said, it affects people's lives so you know, significantly. If you could give us your social media or website information we could follow and support some of the efforts that you're doing with Meek Mills and others, that'd be great at this time.
Sure. Follow me on Instagram, Jordan A. Harris, on Facebook, Rep. Jordan Harris, on Twitter, @RepHarris. And the website is www.pahouse.com/Harris.
Thank you for all that you do, and I'm proud of you, Frat. You're doing big things, and you're really making a difference in the community. Keep up the great work.
Go Mob, Frat.
Go Mob. I am Aaron Smith. She is Queen Kawesa, the super producer, and you are waking up with Word, y'all. You know.
Don't miss the Electric Magazine Show.
Hosted by Cody Anderson and Vicky Leach. Saturday mornings from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Exclusively on Word Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Jacques Wambush Jr. has decided to run for the office of Register of Wills. He thinks new leadership is in order. Now, who is Jacques Wambush? He's a Democratic candidate for Philadelphia Register of Wills. Jacques Wambush Jr. has over 30 years of experience in law enforcement, government administration, training, creating and running successful businesses in our great city of Philadelphia. To better serve communities, as Register of Wills, Jacques would create checks and balances to provide an equitable workforce, implement satellite offices throughout the city of Philadelphia, provide Sunday office hours for outreach, as well as initiating a fraud hotline. With a history of leadership, dedication to public service, and ample experience, if elected, Jacques Wambush Jr. would work diligently to provide accountable, transparent representation and protect the welfare of residents, living and deceased, of Philadelphia. That's why we're supporting Jacques Wambush Jr. Join us. Paid for by friends of Jacques Wambush Jr.
Support independent black media and join the onWURD movement now at 215-425-7875 or visit wordradio.com.
In celebration of the 20th anniversary of the Drexel University Jazz Extravaganza, the Drexel University Jazz Orchestra will once again share the stage with the Howard University Jazz Ensemble. The Howard Jazz Ensemble, directed by Fred Irby III, and the Drexel Jazz Orchestra, directed by Brent White, will perform compositions by Benny Golson, Herbie Hancock, Randy Weston, Lou Donaldson, and other masters of the jazz tradition. Special guest artists for the evening will be Dr. George L. Starks Jr., former director of the Drexel University Jazz Orchestra and founder of the annual Jazz Extravaganza, and Professor Joseph Jennings, former director of the Spelman College Jazz Ensemble. The concert will take place on Friday, April 12th at 7 p.m. in the Mandel Theater, 33rd and Chestnut Streets on the Drexel University campus. The event is free and open to the public. For more information, please call 215-895-2451.
The Sweet Treat Hut is the highest-rated juice bar in Philly, located on the corner of 50th and Thompson Streets, providing delicious, healthy vegan food, juices, and smoothies. Treat yourself to a cup of happiness. Call 215-877-1471.
Drive in with the Rapping Professor, Dr. Aaron Smith. Drive home with Charles Ellison. This is onWURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Philadelphia, independent black media. Let's go! You're waking up with onWURD with the Rapping Professor, Dr. Aaron Smith, on onWURD Radio. Black Talk Media.
Black Talk Media, 900 AM, 96.1 FM. We up in here having a good time. Word TV, you can see me. Okay, she is the super producer. I am the host of the show, and you are the reason why we do what we do. And this hour is brought to you by Power. Philadelphia's organized to witness, empower, and rebuild. Oh my God, the city, the nation. This is the blackest, most informative, independent outlet you ever gonna get, the most inspiring and enlightening. If you don't get your membership, get on the phone lines at this time, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. Coming to the phone lines and toll free, 866-361-0900, 1-866-361-0900. On the line at this time for Hamilton, New Jersey, Lloyd, you're waking up with onWURD.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. How you doing, Professor?
Doing good.
Yeah, I just wanted to call. I came in on it with the topic you guys are talking about today is reform, probation reform and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. It's the Democratic member of House Representative Jordan Harris.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the first time I ever spoke with somebody from the government about it. But my take on it, the first thing is it's not rocket science. A liar's words are worthless even on paper. But when you have liars making laws, and I'm not trying to go all the way in on all government officials, but we know who the top man is, and that's what we hear all day, every day. And I know, the people under, at the bottom, regular people are held accountable by one simple phrase: what you say can and will be held against you in the court of law. And that always puzzled me because, for one thing, the law is not just English. Even the English language is not just English. There's so many different languages built inside of that language. And if you look at the law, there's so many different languages inside that one of them being Latin. You know what I mean? They speak that in the courtroom, mens rea, all kind of different phrases, all day, every day. And, that goes into the etymology of words. But we're being held accountable for all of this stuff. Yeah. We don't know. They have a phrase that says, if you don't know your rights, you have none. You know what I mean? Now, what kind of sense do that make when they're not teaching you your rights? You're supposed to learn them on your own. But when you go to the library, you know what I'm saying, them books that you need to know, some of them are off in areas that only have access to certain people, like law school. You know what I mean? So it's kind of difficult for me to want to, you know, take things seriously.
I hear you.
Like this.
It's hard to be optimistic sometimes.
Yeah, I put it to you like this. You know, I got a daughter, and she want to rap. You know, I used to rap, and, you know, everything in this world is like a family business. And I was out there. I was the next best thing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And, you know, one day I woke up, man, like, you know what I mean? And it took the system. It took just life, me meeting life on life's terms for me to wake up and realize that these words, like, where that hip-hop works at is in the street. So you got two different levels. You got a level of the real life, which is government. You're going in the court system. As soon as you go outside, it's public and private. And then you got hip-hop, and you got the hood.
No, I hear you. I got a lot of calls to get to, too. I don't want them to hang up on us, but I definitely appreciate your contribution this morning, Brother Lloyd. We got Marvin from South Philly.
Hey, good morning, Word family.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to acknowledge Ms. Thornton. She was a leader of Belmont Mansion out there. And I understand that your news program that she passed
yes.
recently. Well, I was married there in 1992, and she was very, very helpful, instrumental in my understanding of our history. I mean, she walked our wedding party through the mansion. It's a beautiful place. If anyone ever had a chance to get out there and, you know, take a walk through, there's a lot of history there. But she was a wonderful. I just want to acknowledge her and thank her for all that she's done for me. And the words that she said to me that still stays with me today. And one reason I believe I'm still married today. I just want to acknowledge her and thank her for all that she's done for. I'm sure so many people. And thank you all for giving me that opportunity.
No, thank you. And as a major institution, Audrey Johnson Thornton, you know, people are paying their respects to. I always say people should look to be walking institutions. You know, people should look to just have an indelible impact on the communities that they serve in a way that just has ripple effects throughout the nation and throughout the world. So when we talk about Audrey Johnson Thornton, we are talking about a class act. You know, when you can say somebody's name and everybody that hears the name says, you know, great person, right? You can just always think about certain people that way, but Audrey Johnson Thornton, founder of the American Women's Heritage Society, right? And also, you know, known for all the great activities and events from the Belmont Mansion. We do. I talked about this the other day when we talked about the class of Sidney Poitier and people like that. So I just want to just honor, you know, these pillars of the community, you know, who continue to do great work in this way and just continue to, you know, always focus on the positive about what we could be and always, you know, act in faith and progress. So shouts out to you, Sister Thornton. And the word is, you know, that the words that are coming in, when we get the further reports and all the confirmations, we'll definitely report back. We just want to honor the life of Sister Thornton at this time and pay our proper respects. You can call in. I see the phone lines lighting up. 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, or toll free 1-866-361-0900. And that is again 1-866-361-0900. Brother Don from West Philly, you're waking up with word.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I had to pause for a while of listening to this great station, you know, over there. You know, I look at the last 50 years, you know, 3 generations in, you know, we're not still getting the proper message out there, man. The root cause is in the black family, man. You know, it's not like we're afraid to address that. You know, we got, if you listen to the rap music, what they're talking about is what they got to do to survive around other black people, man. And what they're talking about is what's being done and not done by their parents, man. You know, we had to look into the black family where that we lost our way somewhere. We don't have a code of standard for the children. We don't have a code of standard for the parents.
So when you were saying the great station, you're saying you appreciate that we do talk about the black family?
I appreciate that we do address a lot of the main issues, but we need to get to the core. The core is the South Night family, man. We if you go to
like you mean like yesterday's discussion about keeping the family tight and honoring the elders and not send them off to.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Oh, that was just yesterday. No,
Yeah.
I appreciate your call and your input, but that's definitely something that we need to always make sure we continue to focus on. Like when we did that episode about the men honoring their wives, you know, or the episode about making sure that we protect and undergird the youth with our support and underwrite them in some of these summer programs. I think that was 2 days ago. But yes, we need to continue to do this great work and put the family first and be the focus. I'm Aaron. She's Kawesa. You're waking up with Word, y'all.
The Shamari Show. Fridays 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Word Radio.
And streaming live on WordRadio.com and the Word Radio app.
RG Electrical Inspections provides electrical inspections for realtors, licensed electricians, and homeowners. RG is a certified plans examiner and licensed underwriter providing assistance for PICO outages. RG is also listed on PICO's website. RG Electrical Inspections is a licensed and insured underwriter serving Philadelphia and surrounding areas. Call if you have plans to review today, 267-902-1655.
We filmed 15 Pennsylvania kids who were all waiting to be adopted and asked what having a family and permanent home would mean to them.
I want a family just to accept me for who I am, to be there just to support me whenever I'm needing it.
To be matched with a family would be amazing. I won't be in a system all the time.
Visit adoptpakids.org to watch the video, meet the kids, and learn how you can become a foster or adoptive parent.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
The Kimmel Center offers free arts education programs to schools across the region. Teaching artists visit classrooms to educate, engage, and inspire the next generation using creative learning experiences, and schools take trips to the Kimmel Center for live performances. The Kimmel Center is committed to educating Philadelphia's youth by providing access to quality arts. For more information, visit kimmelcenter.org.
Register to vote by April 22nd. Keeping you informed.
This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM
And 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Streaming live at wordradio.com.
Word Radio News Update
With Vincent Thompson.
Good morning. Here's the latest from the Word Radio Newsroom, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Action in the Philadelphia Democratic mayoral primary race today, 6 weeks before the May 21st election. Word Radio News has learned that mayoral candidate, Pennsylvania State Senator Anthony Williams, is expected to be endorsed this afternoon for mayor by former Philadelphia City Council President and Mayor John Street. Street was Philadelphia's 97th mayor from January 2000 until January 2008. Since leaving the mayor's office in 2008, Street has mostly been out of the public eye. His personal endorsement of Williams for mayor over incumbent Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney and former City Controller Alan Bukovitz is a big pickup for the Williams campaign. Also, Bukovitz is scheduled to hold a press conference at this hour to denounce Mayor Kenney's remarks recently at an African American Chamber of Commerce of Philadelphia event about the low diversity numbers in high city appointments. Bukovitz says Kenney's comments reflects what he says is the mayor's unfair economic practices toward the city's African American population. Kenney is endorsed for re-election by Philadelphia Democratic Party Chairman Bob Brady, who endorsed Williams in his 2015 mayoral run, and Kenney has received the official Democratic Party endorsement for re-election. Kenney discusses his comments to the African American Chamber of Commerce and other topics during an exclusive one-on-one interview with me on the Philadelphia City Council Live radio show, starting at 10 a.m. here on Word Radio. Video of the full interview will also be posted on Word Radio's YouTube page later today. At-large City Council member Blondell Reynolds Brown is scheduled to be my councilperson of the week on the show, time permitting. Seeking to reverse its struggles, one Atlantic City, New Jersey casino is reversing its name. The Ocean Resort Casino is now calling itself the Ocean Casino Resort. The change was announced to play up the gambling aspect of the resort that was formerly known as Revel. The property unveiled a new logo to go along with the name change. The casino is in the process of changing ownership after quickly running into financial difficulty last fall, just months after reopening. The casino opened in 2012 as Revel and shut down in 2014, one of 4 Atlantic City casinos to do so that year. Checking sports, the Sixers defeated the Chicago Bulls last night in the final game of the regular season. Head coach Brett Brown rested all 5 starting players, and the status of center Joel Embiid for the playoff opener is in question. The Sixers will play the Brooklyn Nets in the first round of the playoffs, but Embiid's achy left knee may prevent the All-Star from playing in the postseason opener on Saturday. General Manager Eldon Brand said Embiid is expected to play in the postseason, but added it was possible he wouldn't be ready for the first game. Also in the NBA playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Detroit Pistons, Toronto Raptors versus Orlando Magic, Boston Celtics play the Indiana Pacers, Golden State Warriors versus the LA Clippers, Denver Nuggets versus San Antonio Spurs, and the Portland Trail Blazers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Houston Rockets will play the Utah Jazz. And former Eagles quarterback Nick Foles will play his old team this season. The NFL released its postseason schedule this week, and it has the Eagles facing Foles and his new team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, in a game that will be played sometime during the week of August 15th. The two teams will not play each other in the regular season. In the preseason, the Eagles will also play the Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens, and New York Jets. Exact dates and times will be announced later. I'll speak to listeners again at 10 this morning on the Philadelphia City Council Live Show. Vincent Thompson, Word Radio News.
Let's go!
You're waking up with Word.
Waking up with Word, y'all!
With the rapping professor,
Dr. Aaron Smith.
Get your weight up, and then we'll have a conversation
on Word Radio.
Black Talk Media.
Black Talk Media, 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, WURDradio.com. Listen live anytime and log on. If you don't have that app, you know where to go. Download an app like you know. I am the host of the show, Aaron Smith. She is Queen Kawasa, the super producer. Put some respect on her name, and you are waking up with Word, y'all. Just to think, I used to get in trouble for having all this energy. And now I get double for the... I was talking about China's ghost cities. A lot of people aren't even aware of these ghost cities. The article says there may be as many as 64 million empty apartments in China. Everybody's pushed together in these major cities. I've been to China. I've seen how they were stacking the people on top of each other with the construction and the development, right? But we need to really look at how around the world people keep talking about, you know, there's not enough rooms, not enough. No. As many as 64 million empty apartments. Many people buy the properties as an investment with no intention of ever moving in. Ghost cities show growth is driven by debt in China. So some of it's just like it's almost like what's it called? The derivatives. Remember people were betting against the bets? Remember the hedge bets, the derivatives? They were betting against the other bets, like it was a game of CeeLo, like the housing market was a game with, okay. But yeah, so in China, you know, debt creation is the way to create wealth. You can't create wealth in capitalism without creating debt. Every time you press up a dollar, you know, there's more debt than that dollar actually represents. So you'll always be in debt to the money changers and the debtors. That's how they set it up, you know. I give you $1, you owe me $1.06. And then you take the other dollar from somebody else just to get the $1.06, and then there's 94 cents floating around that won't pay back my $1.06, and the musical chairs continues. And I, as the banker, just keep twiddling my thumbs and laughing out loud. So right now, China is in the bubble phase. 64 million. It says designed for populations numbering in the hundreds of thousands. The mass construction projects have included towering high-rise condominiums, huge shopping centers, city squares, street lights, replicas of cities in Europe. They have one with an Eiffel Tower in it, like an Eiffel Tower replica in China. There's a ghost city in China where nobody lives, where there's like city squares that replicate other parts of the world, and this needle that looks like the Eiffel Tower. Like, just Google ghost cities and then hit videos or pictures, whatever you prefer, or news stories. Ghost cities, a whole city. We up here with people like the Walking Dead, zombies off these opioids, and we got people starving. We got people, man. It's call up. 215-634-8065. Ghost cities. Local governments around the country tried to juice and stimulate their economies by building more infrastructure and stimulating the property market. Now, I'm saying this because I heard a story about Jewelers Row and how in Philly they want to build more high-rises. I said, are all the ones on the waterfront filled up yet? Are all the ones they're building at North Philadelphia, you know, on Broad Street, are those already taken? Or, you know, is it sold out right now? Because don't have us end up looking like no ghost city now, because y'all just keep wanting to build. Then because you trying to Field of Dreams this thing, and you ain't Kevin Costner. You ain't Kevin Costner now. If we build it, they will come. That's the politics of the city now. If we build it, they will come. We just keep building buildings. People going to pop up with their kale chips and their dog grooming and their hot yoga pants and be like, I'm ready to move it. No. Ooh, everything in moderation. We don't want to be like China and end up with sections of our nation as ghost cities, at least not because, you know, they've been built and nobody's ever lived in them. It's different when the economy shifts, like the gold rush. There's ghost cities based on things like that. You know, the market just isn't there anymore, but we don't want to have ghost cities that started off as ghost cities and nobody's ever, well, you get what I'm saying. No field of dreams politics for me. But let's get to some real politics at this time. Pennsylvania State Senator Tim Kearney joins Wake Up with Word to talk about legislation that has been introduced that would eliminate the statute of limitations for sexual offenses and open a window for civil liability. The legislation was introduced as Senate Bill 540. Good morning and welcome to the program, Senator Kearney.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing very well, feeling energetic. You're full of love and light. I just was curious to know the specifics of this bill because it sounds like there's a lot of positives to it, and I want to make sure that people understand what is being pushed forward at this time.
Yes, well, there are a lot of positives to it. It's about time. The Commonwealth has been really remiss for years now in trying to take care of victims of sexual assault. And what our bill looks to do is to include both children and adults in this, because victims are victims. And, you know, the age of 18 is kind of an arbitrary number. And we need to do everything we can do to empower these people to heal.
And in terms of the civil liability, will there be a cap on that? Is that just something where it'll just be open as far as pain and suffering and things of that nature? They'll be able to get compensated if they can prove that certain things occurred?
Sure, there are no limits on that. This lists the statute of limitations from here on in, so there will no longer be a statute of limitations on the civil cases, and it also creates a 2-year window retroactively that allows people to go back even if their statute of limitations is passed on their particular incidents.
Oh, okay, so when this is passed, there will be some retroactive opportunities for those. Okay, 2 years is the window?
2 years is the window, and we actually give a 6-month delay before it so that people have time to decide what they want to do, whether they want to try to sue and go to court or whether they want to settle, or, you know, it gives them more options. It tries to empower the people to actually deal with their own healing.
Now, in terms of a lot of critics of political correctness, and some people say, you know, the Me Too movement is a great necessary movement, but some aspects have went too far. How are they defining sexual offenses? Because I remember with Morgan Freeman, for instance, they said that he had touched the small of somebody's back and he made an inappropriate joke. And even I, at that time, was like, I think that's a little too far to be destroying somebody's life, and oftentimes public people will settle just to keep things out the news. So now the civil liability and statute of limitations is open. How do we work to make sure that we are protecting victims at the same time not giving opportunities to opportunists?
Well, sure. Well, first of all, we're not opening up quite yet. It still has to pass the Senate and the House. We need to enact it into law. So this is a step forward, a step we think is in the right direction. I can't get into the details of the law because it's still under negotiation, I guess is the way to put it. But I can tell you that it's very specific and very particular about the kinds of crimes that we're talking about. And it gets into detail which is actually quite disturbing and quite difficult to read sometimes.
I hear you.
But it's the reality of what we're dealing with and what we're really trying to do.
And in terms of, this is a less political question, more of a cultural question, how do we start to raise up a community that can be taught to adhere to certain standards with regards to consent and respect and equality? Because similar to with race, issues of race, people are conditioned to act outside of sometimes what is lawful when it comes to segregation and things like that, because they're kind of taught to be racist, and some people are taught to be sexist, and we hear a lot of commentary about rape culture. If I'm watching these news stories, you know, or these Hollywood stories where the man grabs the woman and kisses her and never asks for permission. I've watched hundreds of movies. I've almost never, if I ever, have seen a man say, is it okay? Do you think I can? Do you feel comfortable if? And if these are the requirements that we want moving forward, how do we infuse that into the education and and entertainment in a way where we're not like commending that statue of the soldier who just grabbed that woman and kissed her when he got home, and we think this is like a major, historic moment.
Sure.
And, like, how do we make those shifts too so people don't just get set up by the way we turn them?
Her comments about that, where she said that she was really uncomfortable?
Yes, and that's just what made me think about that. For years, people said, oh, that's just such a sweet moment. It's been commemorated in sculpture and in art. And then the lady said, I didn't even want that kiss. What are you guys talking about? So, yeah, it speaks to that,
That's a great question, because it really gets to the core and it gets to the heart of what we're trying to do. Because we're trying to foment change in society, the way we think about things.
Yeah.
This is long since overdue that people who perceive that they have some level of power over somebody else act with impunity. And that's really what we want to stop. That's what we really want to get to in terms of literally changing the culture. It's about time, don't you think?
No, definitely. And even if, because some people argue that men are supposed to be the aggressors and pursue the women, and we need to at least find a happy balance, because it's definitely out of balance with regards to the predatory behavior and the harassment. So we have to find a way that men could still, on some level, be the initiators, but you can also initiate through asking. And I think that needs to be I think it needs to be able to be passed down, but my generation really didn't receive it. So I commend people like you for really, putting the nuts and bolts to this thing in a way where we can really start to shift society, where when fathers are talking to sons, they're not describing times where basically they would lean in for a kiss. That's how you would know if somebody didn't like you. They lean back when you lean back, and it's like a Matrix moment. And you're like, oh, I got this. But it shouldn't be that way, because
I agree, and I think you're absolutely right to equate it with our racial situation as well. I mean, it's the same sort of thing where people are been taught, or people grow up thinking certain things, and they discover that's not really true, and that's what we really need to keep pushing and keep trying to make happen.
Yeah, and it's really difficult, especially with the racial we're working at Temple University, sometimes I hear some of the students, and I know for a fact, like you're saying, they were taught these things. Even if they're not true, I know that their parents reinforced it, their community reinforced it, and it makes it very, very difficult to chastise and condemn people when they're simply products of what they've been taught. So a lot of times, especially with these older guys, I feel bad because I'm thinking, I know I was taught wrong through Hollywood, through education, about how to engage women. I was taught that at the end of the night, you kind of try to read some vibes and then you lean in. And I know that the older guys are taught even worse stuff than me. So now that we're shifting the culture, I'm really encouraged by these kind of conversations where people could be re-educated.
We need to keep having them, and we can't really, think we're doing something in Harrisburg right now that's going to change the way people behave. We really need to keep at this, and people need to, teach their children well.
And how do we support the bill, even as it's in the process of being negotiated? How do we encourage people to get behind it that represent us?
Well, the best way is always to contact your representatives, and even if they're not your representatives, contact other people in the Senate. It's easy to find out who's who and who's from where, and people are willing to listen. Tell your story. That's the best way to do it.
That's interesting you said that, because most people don't say contact other people involved in the process. They always say contact your representative, your local representative, your senators. But I appreciate the fact you're saying, you can also, try to persuade other people involved in the process, even if they're not necessarily from your area, your district per se. I think that's important to understand for people who are, the more vocal among us, that they can have an exponential impact. So, it's not a one-call limit.
Absolutely. Because quite frankly, most of the legislators in your listening district are pretty much in support of this.
I hear you.
We had great support from the Philadelphia contingent both in the Senate and the House, who came out when we introduced the bill yesterday. So.
Well, I would not want to be the politician that's against this one. I don't know how you plan to get reelected, because this one seems fairly bipartisan, no-brainer. We're talking at this time to Pennsylvania State Senator Tim Kearney. Can you tell us before we part, how could we log on to find out more information, or when the bill is in the process? How do we follow the process? Like any social media sites, any websites?
Well, you can certainly follow our social media sites. Senator Kearney. Senator Tim Kearney is the Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay, just SENTIM Kearney, KEARNEY. That works for Facebook. It works for our website. It works for Instagram and.
Oh, okay. Streamline.
So, yeah, we try to make it easy for people to get in touch with us, and certainly go on the Senate's webpage, and you can see who the members are and who they represent, and in particular, if people want to reach out and call our Republican colleagues on this, that would be a wonderful thing for us.
No, I hear you. I appreciate your time today, State Senator Tim Carney. So it's SENTIM Carney on all platforms, and it's Senate Bill 540, right? And it's going to eliminate the statute of limitations for sexual offenses and open a window for civil liabilities. Thank you so much for joining us, sharing the information, doing the work that you do, and also for waking up with Word this morning.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, sir.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
No, great information, great conversation. You know, some things, even though we related it, to race, and we related it, and we mentioned partisanship, there are some issues that's just like, I mean, if there was ever something that I would refer to as common sense legislation, you shouldn't be harassing nobody, touching nobody, violating nobody. And if you do, hey, you should be held accountable for the violation. It just is what it is. So I'm always hopeful about those silver linings, despite all my critiques, even personally, about the political process, police brutality, race, and okay. But when you see something that seems like it'll help some people, like Brother Jordan Harris said, Democratic member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, 186th Legislative District, he was saying, basically he's trying to help people. And whoever he can get to help him, to help people, he's going to be willing to work. He's not going to be so emotional and reactionary and petty that he don't get the assistance that could change and transform people's lives. And I appreciate what the state senator Tim Carney was saying as well in terms of trying to encourage even some of the Republican representatives, because this is beyond partisanship. This is about people. George from Center City, thank you for waking up with Word.
And good morning, Professor, and how are you?
Doing well.
I'm glad you just explained that the way you did and asked those questions. Put some clarity on it. Like you say, some of these then turn this into a pure hustle. You know what I'm saying? Making false claims and getting paid. Because people want to settle it right away, don't want to ruin their reputations and all. Hey, it's an opportunity. They take advantage of it. I've called you about Jewelers Row. You can't blame elected officials for that, because Councilman Squiller was the one who, the problem was, you had a few of the jewelers down there who was willing to sell. Toll's brother came and gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. They could have refused it, but they didn't. And that set the tone for the go. But also, it's a couple of them old school Jewish jewelers down there that know one thing that works. And the African-American community hasn't learned that yet. You take them to court. Banks are not going to be at risk for nothing. So therefore, if they can't get those loans and you tying them up in court, it might cost you a few dollars, but in the end, you get real good results. And we did that in North Philadelphia for a while until one or two people just got tired of just spending their money, and then, they just start buying people's houses. But that's the object. And when people come in your community, take the rec at 26 and Master, for instance. That's a white board now. For years, that always been an African-American athletic center. But now everybody in there who runs everything and calls all the shots is white. And you can't blame them because they come in a neighborhood that they move in and they organize, they vote. When you go in Brewingtown now or in Francisville, you go on election day and see who all's in them lines waiting to vote. They understand the importance of voting. And the few little bit of African Americans who are left in North Philadelphia, it's like you got to almost pull them out of the bed to make them vote. But they do come in your neighborhood, which is their neighborhood now, because the majority rule. The minority may have it's just like they say, Professor. If you don't vote, you don't count. If you don't participate, you don't count. So therefore, if you don't say nothing, you don't get anything. So those people are coming in your neighborhood, setting up organizations. Look at Francisville now. It was an African-American woman was down there. I don't know how well she did, but they came in there and put another organization in there. They got a new RCO, which is not the people of color, and they're taking over your neighborhoods. So therefore, when we get to arguing in North Philadelphia, I always tell them, look who's in this meeting. You don't see people of color in the meeting. You see the other people in there. So therefore, if it's 200 of them and it's only 10 of you, what kind of say-so do you have? Just look at your neighborhood and ask yourself, who participates? Who does what? North Philadelphia is like it used to be 65, now it's up to 70. If you don't believe that there, go down to the voter registration thing and see how many people are registered.
Now, I hear you. I appreciate the call, Brother George from Center City. Also, Reverend Joe from Mount Airy, thank you for waking up with Word.
Dr. Smith, I thank God for you. You're old beyond your age. You mentioned about Jewelers Row about a couple hours ago. Anytime toll brothers can move them out, we don't have to a ghost of a chance. I used to call an A account on Jewelers Road. As far as I know, there were no black jewelers on Jewelers Road. Only man I know, Mr. Paulson, who's now dead, he had a little shop way on the second floor, one of them places. But other than that, that was controlled by Jews, like you said. Now, I remember one of the accounts I was calling on, I don't know if the man owed the mafia some money or what happened. All he did, Reverend Smith, was look in the window. Do you know he went in the back room and committed suicide?
Wow.
I mean, this thing is, see, that jewelry stuff is deeper than you think. You know, you can see, well, you can see rabbis doing it. They with briefcases locked on the arm, on the handcuffs to the. You know, you don't rob the jewels when they buy jewels, and that's all controlled by who, the De Beers company and
De Beers and Oppenheimers. Yep.
Yeah. See, so I thank God for you bringing this up. You got to talk about it because it's real. But the Lord works in mysterious ways. Because I know you probably couldn't get a store down in know-how now. Look.
Now or then, huh?
See, there's no honor amongst thieves. So keep doing what you do. I got a whole lot to talk about. I'll call you tomorrow.
No, appreciate you, Reverend Joe from Mount Airy. And that's a good point when we put things in historical context, you know, as far as African Americans. I'm Aaron Smith. She is Queen Kawesa. Got to take a quick break. Coming right back on the other side with another interview just for you. The one and only Joan Myers Brown, Philadanco founder. We got to talk about this dance Philly style performance going to come up on the 12th through the 14th. You're waking up with word, y'all.
Listen to Word Radio on the go with the Word Radio app. Search for WURD in your favorite app store today and take us with you wherever you go. Stay connected to Word Radio, independent black media.
Einstein Bariatrics wants to talk with you about how losing weight can impact every aspect of your life. They know weight loss surgery is no easy decision, but will be with you every step of the way. With nationally recognized expertise and a full team to support you from the moment you reach out, Einstein is committed to doing whatever it takes to help you succeed long after your surgery. They've already helped thousands start a new chapter in their lives and will do the same for you. This changes everything. Get started with a free information session at EinsteinWeightLoss.com.
WordRadio.com.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you Word listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that Word 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
A place like Home 2, located 2276 Georges Lane, provides a clean and active environment for seniors, including referrals, daily cognitive therapy, podiatry, exercise, arts, and crafts. Call 215-878-1200 now. We are progressive and proud and interactive. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at onWURD. This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Streaming live at WordRadio.com. Let's go! You're waking up with Word.
Waking up with Word, y'all.
On Word Radio. Black Talk Media.
900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, WURDradio.com. Listen live anytime and log on. Let's wait for our interview. Maybe you can get through 215-634-8065, 1-866-361-0900. I said 00. I was like, wait, what number is that? 000. That sounds like when Siri be trying to read stuff, or when you be on navigation and they be like, please turn on Skuckle. I'll be like, the Skullkill? I'll be like, yo, you not from Philly over here, Siri. You not, yo, this navigation for some, this navigation don't even know how to say a John. I was watching a movie. Shouts out Black De Niro, the new movie. It was Backfire. So Black De Niro, the rapper, has a movie on Netflix, and I had the closed captions on for whatever reason. And the song was like, that John. And the closed caption was like, that join. I was like, wait, Join? Like, where you from, bruh? You drawing over there, that joint, right? Okay, let me stop. I'm Aaron Smith. She's Queen Kawesa. Oh, shouts out to Black De Niro. I like to see, you know, brothers, you know, just parlaying their skills in different, you know, different platforms and things like that. Because they always talk about the rappers, but some of these rappers are some of the smartest, most industrious, you know, best, you know, they got it. They got it, man. Alpha males, they would call it, right? And unfortunately, the system is full of them. Shaka Zulu spirit, that Shango energy, you know, that aggression. So don't always look down on that. That's why people need to study some of these other systems a little bit so they can have appreciation for different aspects of energy and ways to be spiritual. You ain't spiritual just because you compliant and complacent and compromising. You could be spiritual and you could wage a spiritual war. You know, I don't know any holy book that doesn't talk about spiritual warfare that's manifested in the physical. Am I going too deep, too fast? Ain't not ready. I was just playing a minute ago, so hey, let me get serious sometime. Nah, shouts out. A lot of big things happening in entertainment. Nipsey Hussle, the rapper that was killed, his mother had came forward and was talking about, you know, a spiritual way to look at the situation by the passing of her son, like really finding peace through spirituality. And it was, you know, just, she was saying that he's even greater because he has no limits. So this whole idea, that African conceptualization of death and rebirth and life, you know, like there is no death. And it was powerful to watch somebody, you know, not be delusional, not be in denial, but just really be appreciating the reality of mortality and the infinite potential of legacy in the ancestral realm. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And there was also an interesting article. Maybe we can do this article tomorrow and really get into it. Black maternal health. I know we're having a lot of these issues. Queen Kawesa reported today about the what's his name? Tinker Toy. Remember the guy who did the article? Tinkerbock'em.
Tinderbolt?
What? Oh, Tinderbolt. That's almost as bad as Hickenlooper. Remember the boy run for president? They need to run for president on the same ticket. I know they different parties and everything. Was it Tinkerbolt? Tinker Toys? Was it Teeter Totter? Weeble wobble, but they don't get votes. He need to run with Hickenlooper. What's his name? One was outside. I really was trying to figure it out.
I thought you were kidding. Tinderbolt.
Tinderbolt and Hickenlooper need to have a reality show. Okay, but Black maternal health, it says, when the village itself may be too toxic. When the village, I'm going to read a little bit because this is, I keep saying it, to me, the way we treating each other. Because people go to the bar to get a drink when they leave their house and they stressed out sometimes. Sometimes people walking down the street to go self-medicate because the boss done says, and the husband or the wife done said, and the kids is acting so, and the police want to put, like if people just start treating each other a little better. Like I'm always like, we can have all the issues in the world, man. You hear me turn up all day. I ain't trying to hurt you. I don't hate you. The people I argue with one day, I laugh with the next day. It's not that deep. I'm not out here to have a lasting negative impression on somebody's spirit or psychological development. I don't want people losing sleep or turning to narcotics or hard alcohol or stuff, like just because they don't like what the professor is doing. Like, no. Treat people better. The article talks about when the village, Black maternal health, when the village itself may be too toxic. Jenny Joseph reported for The Root, you know, this whole idea about Black Maternal Health Week. Recent intense media focus on high rates of maternal mortality in the United States, especially for African American women, has been a mixed blessing. It has raised much needed awareness about the rising rates of maternal deaths and disability happening during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. Yet, those startling statistics have added more stress and burden on women who absorb this new news and are left feeling disempowered, frightened, and at the mercy of our struggling maternity system. Millions of dollars are spent annually at maternity care alone, and there is a deep dysfunction within a system dedicated to maintaining the corporate bottom line. This creates a conundrum on many fronts, as evidenced by our abysmal maternal and infant mortality rates. Particularly egregious are the vast disparities between African American and Native American women when compared to their white counterparts. Currently, 3 to 4 times as many black women die or nearly die during pregnancy. This is unacceptable. This is 2019. We talking about, we got robots that can flip burgers, and we got, you know, ways to do surgeries non-invasive, so with the doctor in a different room just working through a robot robot looking at a screen. We can't keep people alive. Like we didn't have these rates when we were back in Africa. I'm talking about in the village, in the rural sections, not the advanced cities where they had the first universities and the complex sciences and mathematics and alchemy. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the most remote. I don't think the statistics were We got to talk, y'all. We got to talk. Call up 215-634-8065. That was difficult. But we can get deeper into that tomorrow, because I think there's some conversation we really need to have about, and we said it. We said about the elderly, we said about the youth, and now we need to talk about one another. You know, the middle-aged folks and the younger, you know, the young adults. When you shaming people for not graduating at a certain time, then you shaming them for coming home on vacation by themselves because they didn't find a good man or a woman. How they going to find a good man or a woman when you got them on the clock like Jackie Joyner Kersey? Then when they find a good man or a woman, you say, why are you getting married so soon? Why are you engaged already? Didn't you just tell me to find somebody? Then you turn around and say, how much you paying for the wedding? And can everybody come? Well, you can't say both. You can't have it a million-man march at the wedding and then try to keep the cost down and not want to participate and contribute. And then you say, why are you inviting her? Why are you inviting him? Now you're making it about you and you're being petty when you just told me to go get this person, ask me why I was getting married so soon. Then you try to limit my guest list and not try to give anything towards it. Then the second I get back from the honeymoon, sometimes before I even get to my honeymoon, you start talking about little grandbabies. I said, didn't you just hate him last week and say that we was moving too fast? Didn't you just ask me to reconsider getting married? I only known him for a year. Now you talking about where the grandbabies at. Then I have a baby, and you say, when you going to have somebody for the baby to play with? I'm talking about never satisfied. I'm talking about not being able to solve everybody's problem. I'm talking about some toxicity now. We got to treat people different. If you're disapproving of people for the majority of their life, through the majority of their major life decisions, you can't be the one talking about, my children never visit me. Who wants to go get disapproved of? Who wants to be enjoying their life, loving where they are in life, and even if they struggling, okay with themselves, and then get around somebody who they really care about what they think, and all their life they've been wanting approval and just to be accepted by these certain people, whether it be a mother, a father, a father figure, a mother figure, and all you do is talk about what they don't do, what they haven't done, what they need to do, and never sitting back appreciating just how proud you are of the person they become. I'm speaking to somebody's life right now. All you want somebody to do is say, good jobs, daughter. Good job, son. I like what you're doing. I like the woman you've become. I'm happy with you as you are. Now, I love you to get somebody. I love all of that, but I want you to know that the person you are, despite how much money you might make or not make, despite what relationship you're in or not in, despite whether you have 3 children and you're on your own or you're with a man that you're just enjoying time together and haven't decided to have children yet or ever, I love you. It's the way we treating people. You wonder why all these medications is being prescribed and all this alcohol is being consumed. We talk about the sugary foods and the high cholesterol processed foods and all the greasy foods. People eating comfort food. They eat the salty and the crunchy when they feel rage and anger. They eat the sugary and the sweet and the soft foods and the warm salt when they need comfort. And they're not getting that comfort from the places where they're supposed to be getting nurtured and encouraged. Some of y'all looking at it like y'all scouting agents for an NCAA team. No, those your children. Think you Bobby Knight or somebody critiquing them like these the Hoosiers. No. Like they running up and down the court, going to college, getting a date, trying to have a child, getting married, and you just watching them and you yelling, ready to throw a chair on the court every time you don't like something. Then they have 3 children, and you say, oh, Lord, what you doing now? You got an orphanage. You think this is Annie. How you going to afford all these children? Now, ain't this a... Here I am, biological clock done ticked out. I done shot this last 3-pointer from the buzzer. Holly Berry numbers, right? I think I'm doing it. You told me to meet a man. You told me don't get married. Then the second I did get married, you get the list. Now here I am finally giving you your grandbabies. You find out I'm pregnant with number 3. You want to have a whole intervention. Now here I am about 40-something. With my baby in my body, I don't need this negative energy. All these hormones secreting because the one woman I was trying to be like my whole life is still disapproving on a deathbed. It's the way we treat each other, y'all. Stop making it all about all this race and gender. A lot of it is just basic human decency and dignity. Be nice to people, especially people that depend on you for this kind of encouragement, that allow you the opportunity to have access to their spirit and their life and to encourage them that way. They are allowing you to be part of their village. They are saying that they care about what you think. 99% of people in the world, you could care less. I'm saying I'm letting you in. I value your opinion. Please use it wisely. Please don't be reckless and indiscreet with the things you say to me, because it can have a lasting impact and impression. I want to help somebody before a holiday comes, 4th of July or something, and you at the barbecue at the grill saying something nonsensical about somebody's children or somebody's choice of partner or somebody's choice of career. Woo! The Word family, join us tomorrow. Big things are going. Friday, April 12th, the 4th annual pre-celebration of the life and legacy of athlete, veteran. This is my thing. I know, y'all, that athlete is a 2-syllable word. And I know I make it a 3-syllable word. I'm just going to clear that up. Because I know somebody's like, ain't he a professor? I am a professor. But I'm also a professor that appreciates African American dialect, ebonics, and slang. And sometimes I pride myself in being bilingual simultaneously. So the word is athlete for all my young people out there. But the rap professor at times, when he's feeling the rhythm and he gets in the zone, he says athlete. So athlete, veteran, and civil rights activist Jackie Robinson. Brown ShopRite, 52nd and Jefferson Streets, beginning at 10 a.m. Bring the family and join us for the live broadcast hosted by the one and only Chris Murray and guests, including experts on Jackie Robinson. So we're going to have fun, learn some, probably be some giveaways and all that good stuff. You want to know what kind of giveaways? How about some food? Enjoy hot dogs provided by Dietz and Watson. Wait, they give away all this food? See, I was reading this so many times, didn't realize this is a feast. They got a whole city down here. 52nd and Jefferson. Tomorrow, everybody go. Everybody. Enjoy hot dogs provided by Dietz and Watson, rolls by Omarosas, popcorn and snacks by Hers, and refreshment by Canada Dry. I might just stop by to get the care package. Oh, I'm a vegan. I'm about to get me some meat. Because somebody be like, hey, brother, can I say, brother, I got the best meat, well, the best roll with the best drink. Okay. Popcorn, all that, face painting, fun for the young ones. Come early, be amongst the first 42 people to start or renew your forward membership. If you do, you'll receive a discounted rate of $80. That's what's up. You can also qualify to win $20 Visa gift card. I just want to say that's what's up again. $20. That's what's up. I just felt good. I just presented in part by Brown ShopRite, Omarosas, Canada Dry, Dietz and Watson, Hers, Moravia, Dedicated Senior Medical Center, and Aetna. Tomorrow, it's been a long week. Some of y'all could take lunch a little early if you're in the area. Because some people are like, I'll be at work, right? Well, you say, I'll be right back. Anybody need something from the market? You take some orders that justify you staying out a little longer. Take the boss's order. You might buy yourself another 20 minutes. You know, the boss will be like, well, he's getting my food. He's going to get my lunch. So at this time, we are going to take a break and come back with, as promised, Joel Myers Brown. We're going to talk Philadelphia and this amazing event coming up the 12th through the 14th called Dance Philly Style on the other side. And I'm Aaron. She's Kowesa, and you. You're waking up with words, y'all. You're waking up with words, y'all.
Brothers and sisters!
Don't miss The Source.
Weekdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
on Word Radio.
WordRadio.com and the Word Radio app.
We filmed Pennsylvania adoptive families and asked them why more people need to become foster or adoptive parents.
As a society, we have a responsibility to make sure every kid gets from being a kid to being a responsible adult.
I would encourage anybody to do it. You get so much more out of it than you expect.
Visit adoptpakids.org to watch the video, meet the kids, and learn how you can become a foster or adoptive parent.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is Ronald Clark with the Moravia Health Tip. The bond between a patient and their caregiver is very important. Empathy and kindness are crucial to having a trusting relationship with your loved one. When selecting a home care aide to help with your daily tasks, such as cooking, cleaning, and companionship, inquire as to why the candidate chose caregiving as a profession. The right caregiver will have a good mixture of professionalism and a loving and caring nature. Many families are not aware, but they are able to hire a family member or a friend as their paid home care aide. With training through Moravia Health, caring for your loved one just got easier. Moravia Health is dedicated to delivering quality care to patients in the comfort of their home. For more information about Moravia Health, call 215-717-8650. That's 215-717-8650. Or visit MoraviaHealth.com. Moravia Health, because there's no place like home.
Be heard. Want another way to join the conversation?
Follow us on social media
using the hashtag onWURD.
Be heard.
Stay connected to Word Radio.
Independent Black Media.
Councilman Alan Dom is building a brighter future for Philadelphia's children, fighting for more school funding, raising funds to support tech education, and personally donating to teach computer coding at Coded by Kids. Listen to Coded by Kids instructor Ashley and CEO Sylvester Mobley.
There are a lot of kids that will have a brighter future thanks to Alan Dom and his contributions to Coded by Kids.
Having Alan Dom make a commitment to transforming people's lives through technology has helped us. I can't thank Alan Dom enough.
Fundraising to teach computer coding, personally donating thousands. Alan Dom is fighting to give our children the opportunities they deserve and preparing them for success. Big ideas, big achievements. A better city for all of us. Vote Alan Dom, Democrat for City Council at large. Paid for by Alan Dom for City Council.
Let's go!
You're waking up with Word
With the rapping professor, Dr. Aaron Smith,
on Word Radio.
Black Talk Media.
Black Talk Media, 900 AM, 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, WURDradio.com. Listen live anytime and log on. If you know how that app, you know where to go. Download an app like you know. Right now on the show, we have the founder, Joan Myers-Brown. Philadanco founder, Joan Myers-Brown joins Waking Up with Word to talk about the Spring Philadanco Performance, Dance Philly Style. The show will run April 12th through the 14th. Good morning, Ms. Joan Myers-Brown.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Listen, I'm a little stressed right now because, you know, opening night is always opening night, but we're ready.
Oh, you too blessed to be stressed. You blessed by the best, and I know y'all going to pass any test. No, it's going to be an amazing show.
That.
And we're going to get the word out. That's what's going to make it even that's going to make it that much better because we're going to let everybody know, and the Word family are great supporters of the arts and the community. So tell us a little bit, for those that might not know, I know most people should know by now, but just talk to them a little bit about yourself and Philadanco, and then go straight into the performance, Dance Philly Style.
Well, you know, people ask me how I'm a dancer. I say I'm a has-been. I has been a dancer, but I love dancers. And, you know, when I grew up in segregation, there weren't many opportunities for black youngsters. So I was always trying to make opportunities for our kids that want to be dancers. And, you know, here it is 2020 almost, my 50th anniversary coming up, and I'm still trying to make opportunities for our black kids. And, you know, there's so many black dancers that had to leave the country to get opportunities. So I want to just say there's kids coming up now. I call them kids because you're how old I am, but who need opportunities. So I've talked about all the people here in Philly. Billy Wilson had to go to Europe. Carol Johnson went to Australia. You know, Gene Hill Began had to go to Israel to get opportunities. So my job right now is to make opportunities available for our kids. I got 4 ballets coming up. 3 of them are brand new. Everybody knows Rennie Harris. You know, I'm doing one by Rennie. I'm doing one by Anthony Burrell, who did Beyonce and Mariah. I'm doing one by a young dancer who used to be in my company who's now teaching college. And then I'm pulling out an old ballet that's all Philadelphia bred and born. These people from Philly got talent. We got to support them. You know, I complain a lot about Philadanco not being supported, but I'm about helping youngsters.
No, I hear you. And we can also help by participating in being part of the audience from the April 12th through the 14th. And tell us a little bit about Dance Philly Style and how that came about and what we could expect. Because some people are going to, you know, wonder what you mean by Dance Philly Style.
Well, all the people that come from Philadelphia that do good work and do different work. I think it's a collaboration of many different dance styles, hip-hop, some almost ballet, we call neoclassic ballet, some modern dance. And, you know, I think the people will... But let me tell you right now, I think almost all the shows are sold out, so people, if they want to come, they better get down there.
Hurry up, right? While supplies last, that's what I'm talking about. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't meet me there, beat me there, I like to say.
You know how to get there and stand in line mad because they can't get a ticket. Well, that's going to happen this time if they don't get down there because the show is really selling. I think Anthony Burrell, you know, he has a big following here, and also Rennie Harris. So Anthony's doing jazz dance, and you know, Rennie he had a big success recently with Alvin Ailey, but this is a Philly thing. This is one he did for Philly. So you know, I just want people to know that there's so much diversity among our choreographers. It's not the same old, same old. If you go to a show where the one person does the choreography all night, it's the same thing. Well, this time it's 4 different ballets. And our dancers, they just kill it. You know, I got to give them credit. They kill it.
I hear you. No, that's exciting. And I think it's really good for young people. If, you know, if you have a young person that you want to encourage and inspire, this is a perfect opportunity, you know, to find some young person that you see is full of energy and enjoys, you know, dancing, or just might be positively impacted by seeing people cooperating and working and enjoying life and celebrating their bodies and creativities in such a wonderful way. And just from a lasting institution that's community-based, right, a Philly thing, I think it'd be great to get some young people out there. So get the tickets while supplies last. They're going fast. Don't get there last minute. Be mad you got no ticket. It's an honor always, and a privilege and a pleasure just to speak with you. How do people get involved with Philadelphia if they want to get their young person involved?
Well, we have 2 schools, so they can call our schools and enroll. But we're not taking kids now until September. But we have a summer program. Okay. They can call Philadelphia. Go to Philadelphia.org. All the information's on there. And I want to tell you that in October, one of my alumni, one of my former dancers, Leslie Odom, is going to star in our October show. So we're always doing things in Philly. So look us up online, Philadelphia.org. Come see us, support us. The kids can enroll in our 2 schools. Our schools will be 60 years old. And I always say, I don't know how that happened because I'm 47.
Hear that?
But we're still rolling. We're making sure the arts are part of our community, even if they're not in the schools like they should be.
Yeah, and I think it's incumbent upon the community to recognize, you know, where some of these voids could exist and make sure that we support institutions that can be instrumental, you know, in bridging the gap, you know, and making sure that people get what they need. Because I said earlier, a lot of people want to beg people who don't want to help us instead of support people who have proven to help us over the years.
You know, I was telling someone the other day, our kids don't jump. They don't play hopscotch. They don't double dutch. They don't do anything but stay on the cell phone. You got to get them out of the house, get them involved in the arts, music, dance, theater, and let them do other things because their minds will get stagnant if they're not being creative.
Wow, thank you so much. If you're just tuning in, Philadelphia founder Joan Myers-Brown talking about Spring Philadelphia, the performance Dance Philly Style. The show will run from April 12th to April 14th. Make sure you get your tickets. They're going fast. It's a Philly thing this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us today and for all that you've continued to do over the years for the young people and the grown folks in our community and for the arts.
And thank you so much for having me on. I always appreciate it.
A pleasure. Thank you. Take care. We are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. Too blessed to be stressed. Count it all joy. And if you need any encouragement, next time you ride by that cemetery, you just, you know, because sometimes you ever catch yourself? You ever catch yourself complaining? You ever be in your car complaining and you ride past somebody whose car is broken down and you be like, oh, well, I guess it could be worse. It'd be pouring down rain outside and you be like, this darn rain, just my luck. It's raining and I got it. And then you see somebody outside in the rain trying to change a tire and you be like, ooh. And it'd be a brother dressed up looking like you on a first date and the girl is inside the car looking like you better get it right. We better be back rolling in the next 10 minutes. I don't care what restaurant we going to. If you can't change a tire for this job, you're going to be fired. No, ain't nothing like catching a flat tire on a date and you tempted to call AAA, but you got to show that you can do this now. I know how to use some tools. And you end up looking like a fool. Come back looking like you done dipped in the pool. And they said, okay. But yeah, sometimes you just catch yourself. You catch yourself in mid-complaint. And you say, if you don't get that complaint out your mouth and replace it with some praise, if you don't spit that complaint out like some rotten fruit and get you some praise, I woke up this morning. You can stop right there, and that is enough to get you through a praise break that can take us to the end of the show. Hold on, quick, wait. Oh, I say DJ K. If we could end with some inspiration. I know usually we start with inspiration. Today, I'm going to make sure, I watch my time, We're going to talk a little while. You can actually call in too, and that's why I gave DJ K. I gave her the heads up early. 215-634-8065. Call me up, tell me how you've been blessed. Call him in now. Yeah, seriously though, seriously. Who was it? Was it George said he'd been through how many multiple surgeries? That George said he been under the knife? That was Maurice. Now, George was talking about the political thing, and Maurice was talking about how he knows what it's like. Oh, it's the sugar. Maurice called about the sugar today. Yeah, so some people done been through some things. Some people done been under the knife, and they sometimes they put you under with the anesthesia, and they come back. You know, they put you back together and brought you back. Some people know about that life. Some people got hips in them now they didn't have when they were born. Some of them got knees in their legs they didn't have. Some people got rods in their body they didn't. Some people got whole organs that have been transplanted. Some people had bypasses, double, triple, quadruple. So, come on, it should have been me. It could have been me. Like, yeah, I just want people at some point to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to decide to just be happy. And I don't want you to hear me on this microphone and be like, well, he must have $1 billion trillion and he must have floated through the sky. No. Truth be told, I'm blessed. It don't matter. It don't matter what the bank account says or don't say. Because the bank don't have the final say. It don't matter what the bank say or don't say, because the bank don't have the final say anyway. I seen people ready to lose it all because of a grade they received. I said, well, if you don't get your life, literally get your life, I can't prevent you from your purpose. You saying me, not even a word, not even a full page. You saying me, I write one letter of the alphabet and you ready to, no. There's a whole lot of other letters you need to focus on. Like A, blessing, that you believe, and you see that you're going through, and the key word is through, and you're delivered, and you're elated because you have the faith to make it to see another day, and here you are, and G-O-D, you got to make. I was preaching the alphabet. Let me slow myself down. Oh, I be ready to throw these papers, but I remember I'm on TV. But we got the inspiration for your situation. Up next is the source. What? City Council? Oh, I should have brought my tie. Oh, I should have wore a tie, y'all. Usually with City Council, I try to dress accordingly. Salute to the brother Vincent. Coming up next, we have City Council. We are going to talk politics and have news you can use, information to change your situation. See, I did the play and to balance it out. That's my excuse. I knew City Council was coming, so I went a little heavier on the jokey joke today. I'm Aaron Smith. She's Queen Kawesa, but now she's also DJ K, dropping the inspiration. Yeah. Up next, City Council. We love y'all. You're waking up with word, y'all.
This is fun day.